Good morning, everybody. It's the Mike Missanelli Show. 97.5, The Fanatic. Phillies back in action tonight. But we're still talking about the Eagles and the NFL draft. And, it's a really interesting concept now that Howie Roseman, there's something that we're going to refer to as the halo effect, where the halo effect puts a halo on certain people, certain situations. And it's basically an impression that they can do no wrong or they could do no right, which would be the Horns effect. We're going to get a little psychological today. But so far, the Eagles draft has been universally accepted and lauded by everybody who covers the NFL. Now, to me, that's the halo effect of a hot general manager. That's Howie Roseman making a selection, and therefore it must be a great selection. This is Nick Serriani being a Super Bowl coach who wins the Super Bowl, and now all of a sudden is a great coach. The halo effect, Billy, is what we're talking about. But I ask you a question. Can the halo effect with Howie Roseman's draft get in the way of the reality of it, where everybody is programmed to say, well, since it's Howie, it must be good? And maybe it isn't because we still have to see it, which is where I sit. I sit in a seat where I go, I don't care what people are saying about the draft. How on earth can you possibly evaluate a draft until you see guys actually play NFL football at an NFL speed with an NFL scheme being coached a certain different way? So I ask you, Bill, is it possible that this draft could be overrated? Because even though it's Howie Roseman.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. I mean, all you can grade a draft on the day after it's over is based off of value and projection. But, of course, until we see these guys actually get on the field and play, it's impossible to put a true grade on it. Now, the reason that people are giving Howie Roseman the benefit of the doubt, and you refer to it as the halo effect, which is the psychological term that we're going to get into when we talk about Nick Sirianni, too, a little bit later, is because of what he's done over the last few seasons. We've gone over this before, going back to after he made the Jalen Reagor pick in 2020. After that pick, it's almost been like every single roll of the dice has come up 7. Like he takes Jalen Hurts with the pick after Jalen Reagor. Sometimes we forget that in 2020. And then you look at his other drafts. 2021 was a massive success. 22, 23, last year. So when we look at all of that, it would tell you, yeah, he's probably going to hit again. Now, I think that's unlikely. When you just look at the law of averages, he's probably due for a little bit of a down draft. But when we just look at the players that were picked and the value that he got, like the Jahad Campbell one at 31, massive value. There's massive upside there. If this guy is, in fact, healthy, which is the big question, you may be talking about one of the best players that was drafted this season, but we got to see it now. We got to see it unfold. But, yeah, people are going to give Howie Roseman the benefit of the doubt. I don't think I've seen anybody really critical of this particular draft. I've seen mostly Bs, B pluses, As, because, yes, Howie Roseman in Howie we trust. And it's hard not to. I mean, why would we not? Why would we not trust Howie at this point?
I don't trust anybody. That's just my nature. I don't trust a soul until you show me. Like, whatever you've done in the past is nice. It does not relate to the current for me.
Yeah, and look, before the draft, I said, even though Howie has hit 4 years in a row, isn't it probable that he does miss? Like, no one in the history of the National Football League has done some of the things that Howie has done over the last few seasons. Like, we read that stat. There's never been a general manager to draft a Pro Bowler in 4 straight second rounds. Howie did it. Like, did we really expect him now to do it again? I don't know. It's a good question to have because here's the other thing. Even if this draft doesn't work out, it's probably not going to have that much of an impact on this coming season. Where we're going to have the issues is, like, what I think when you go back to 2023 and the problems that this team had down the stretch in 2023, the epic collapse, quote unquote, a lot of the problems with that defense was you didn't have any guys on rookie contracts that were contributing to that defense. Mm-hmm. And when you don't have that in a salary cap era, especially when you have so much money tied up on the offensive side of the football, that's going to cause problems. Now, if these guys don't work out this year, you're probably still okay. You have enough talent on that defensive side of the football. But 2, 3, 4 years down the road, if this draft turns out to be a miss, now you're going to have some issues because you're going to have cap issues and you're not going to have enough rookie contract contributors on defense because they went first 5 picks of the draft on defense. These guys, at least 2 or 3 of them have to work out.
Now, you were a guy who criticized Howie Roseman for his lack of defensive player selection acumen.
Yes. Prior to the last 2 seasons, if you go back, you look at 23 and downward, you could really debate how well did he draft on the defensive side of the football. Like, even in 2022, first-round pick Jordan Davis. Mm-hmm. As much as I like Jordan Davis, worthy of a 13th overall pick? Probably not. I mean, last year he played 37% of the snaps. If you're taking a guy in the top 13 of a draft, he needs to play more than 37%.
So why is this year any different?
Well, I'm just going off of more recent history because then you go to 2023, they get Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith.
Okay.
Last year, Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, Jalen Hunt.
At first, Nolan Smith, what? You know?
As a rookie, he didn't do anything.
Okay.
But he showed last year that he does have that potential. But just look at his last, I guess, let's talk about the last 5 defensive picks before this draft. You got Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, Jalen Hunt, Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith. That's probably 5 for 5. So that's why I'm saying in recent memory, though, he has hit on the defensive side of the football. Let's hope it can continue.
All right, here's why I'm worried, Todd. Because basically they made 2 picks during the first 2 days.
Correct.
And everything else
was intentional, too.
I'm Howie Wonderful, and all these guys I'm going to take here, and I could even stretch that to the second pick that he made. Everybody that I take is going to be wonderful because I'm Howie.
Yeah, and that was intentional. Like, they could have drafted in the 3rd round. They chose not to. And if you look at his history of 4th-round draft picks, not necessarily great. Like, in 2023, they got Keely Ringo, still yet to be determined. In 2021, their 4th-round pick was Zach McPherson. That didn't work out. 2020, 4th-round picks, Kevon Wallace on defense. That didn't work out. 2019, Sharif Miller in the 4th round. That didn't work out. You got to go back to 2018 when they took Avonte Maddox in the 4th round. Outside of injuries, he was a good player.
Yeah.
He gets it in.
He gets it out. All right, so we're going to talk about this. So where are the people right now? Are you on the halo effect or the horns effect? When it comes to Howie Roseman, the halo effect, just basically describe the halo effect. The halo effect means that it's a tendency for an impression created in one area to influence opinion in another area. That is the opposite of what Serriani was judged the first time we thought. And we're going to get into that. There is an absolute slurpy piece on Nick Serriani in the New York Times that we're going to just recreate for Bill's purposes.
And I didn't write it. I'm not the author.
You didn't write it. But also, in a little bit, we're going to talk to Ryan Ogle, who is the championship director for the PGA Championship in 2026, which will be right here on these grounds at Aronimink in Newtown Square.
Pretty cool.
So we're going to talk to him about what the plans are for that and how many of the great golfers will be participating in that if we know that. 610-632-0975. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Philadelphia.
tunes, man. Young the Giant. Bill. Anyway, Mike Missanelli Show. 610-632-0975. By the way, we talked to Ryan Ogle. We'll be giving away, in honor of Ryan today, we're going to be giving away a ticket to the, well, two, actually, tickets to the PGA Championship on a Sunday.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So
do we have to give them away?
Yeah, I know.
Can we get them?
I know. So we'll tell you how you can win those tickets. It's for next year now.
Yeah, but this is a phenomenal get.
It is a phenomenal get.
On Sunday of the PGA Championship.
Correct. That's correct.
Man.
Right.
Ray, can we rig this?
I'm already trying. Don't worry.
Ray,
but not for you.
You a golf man?
I could be a golf man if I'm there for the PGA Championship Sunday.
He just likes to go to events.
I like to be places.
He's a bucket list man. Right.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah, there you go.
Now, I'm looking, too, if you don't win the tickets from us, you can still register now at pgachampionship.com/register to get in line to secure your place to buy tickets for it. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, anytime there's a golf tournament on local grounds, it's exciting. Now, let me go into this story here, Bill, because I don't know if people understand what we're trying to make the point here with the halo effect. So, like the halo effect, for instance, if you're a car dealer and you put this really supersonic-looking car out prominently as your main thrust of your dealership, the halo effect is that makes the dealership look make the other cars in the showroom look spectacular.
That's a good. Right? That's a good analogy.
Yeah, the impression created in one area to influence opinion in another area. Now, when it comes to Nick Serriani, it worked in the opposite way, where he was so awkward in his first introduction to Philadelphia that people said he can't coach.
It was a terrible introduction.
He had a nervous delivery. His syntax was off. He had a preoccupation with the word systems. If you recall, he said, we're going to have systems in place that are easier to learn. We need to have systems in place. We will have systems in place.
And then the other quote was always good, too. The first part of being smart is knowing what to do. It was an embarrassing press conference.
So all this reaction on social media came in. Really want to see the interviews where someone said, yes, this is the guy I want to lead my team. And I had the same exact reaction. I go, this guy comes in for an interview. I'm going to hire him to be my multi-million-dollar coach. And I got that.
Yeah.
Like what?
I will say, and this isn't now hindsight being 2020. At the time, I was of the belief whether or not he's good at a press conference doesn't translate whether or not he's a good coach. Because those things are awkward. If you remember, too, it was back when I think things were still being conducted all via Zoom. Mm-hmm. So it's a little awkward. He's never done it before. I wasn't ready to judge him, but there were certainly a lot of people who were.
No, you weren't ready to judge him. How in the world could you have not been ready to judge him?
Because I don't think
hold on. What did you see in the first days of Nick Sirianni that would make you think that this is going to work?
Exactly what you just said. The first days. I said you can't judge a guy about a press conference. He was hired to be a football coach.
You've got to be kidding me. We make judgments every day on something that's live in front of our face.
Well, that's exactly what we're talking about, the halo and the horns effect. That's a first impression.
You're lying to me.
No.
There is no way that you could have felt that guy was going to be a successful coach.
I didn't say that. I didn't leave.
Ray, you got Ray's laughing.
No.
Ray's laughing over there.
Ray, I did
Stop it, Bill.
I did not leave that press conference saying he's going to be a great coach. I left that press conference saying terrible first impression, but I'm not going to judge a football coach by how he presented himself at one press conference. I wasn't defending Sirianni.
You are a liar. It is a natural instinct for all of us as human beings to judge somebody by their first impression. You're not going to sit here and tell me you were Mr. Stoic and you were going to ignore the fact that he was like a 16-year-old kid who just got hired to be an NFL coach.
I was not going to judge a head coach of a football team by how he presented to the media.
I need help. This is...
were you ready to write the guy off?
BS is piling up in here, and I can't breathe, Ray.
Were you ready to write the guy off after one press conference?
I may not have been ready to write the guy off entirely, but to pretend like I didn't judge the guy after that first press conference would be lying by me. I would be lying to you if I didn't tell you that I went out of that press conference and was like, ooh,
Bill
wow.
is in such love. He loves him. That he can't even go back in time and say, you know what, there was a time when I didn't love him.
No, I'm not saying
You
that.
can't. It's unbelievable.
I can admit that. I didn't love him after that press conference. He still had to win me over. I just wasn't ready to rule him out. I wasn't going to make this snap decision about a
Let me ask
football
you a
coach.
question. When you heard that whole thing when he was introduced, did you go, oh, boy?
I saw a guy who was really nervous. I mean, that's what I saw. I saw a guy who was really nervous, who was really awkward.
You just won't give it up.
Because I'm being honest with you.
No,
and I didn't know.
You don't want people to trap you with, well, Bill, you didn't like him at first either.
No, listen, I actually, and I think I've admitted this before, we go back to 2023. The way that playoff game ended against the Tampa Bay Bucks, I did a show on my podcast that night when I had my podcast, and I said, Sirianni's got to go. He has to be fired. Like, my knee-jerk reaction after watching that was I wanted Sirianni out. I woke up the next day, I got back on the air, and I said, you know what? As I've slept on it and I've thought about it, that would be too much of a knee-jerk reaction. So I was just as mad at Sirianni when the collapse occurred as anybody. But I just took a step back and tried to make a rational decision saying he deserves to come back. It turns out it was the right call. When I go back, terrible initial press conference from Sirianni when he was hired, but you can't judge a coach. Look, even your boy Dan Campbell that you love, his first press conference was ridiculous. Talking about biting ankles and knees.
I don't love him.
He's your boy.
I don't love him at all. You hate for no reason.
I don't hate.
610-632-0975. We're going to come back to this conversation because it has a lot of depth to it.
Little detour, though, because we're going to our golf
detour. We got Ryan Ogle come in and talk about the PGA Championship for a quick hit. His life is fascinating.
It really is. I'm jealous.
He's a planner of the PGA Championships. And we'll tell you what that entails after this.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Phillies return to action tonight. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. Phillies open up a 3-game set tonight with the Nationals at Citizens Bank Park. Nationals have won 6 of their last 10, though they got crushed yesterday by the Mets 19-5. Phillies, of course, coming off that series win over the Cubs over the weekend. Matchup on the mound will be Zach Wheeler and Mackenzie Gore. Familiar matchup because that mirrors the opening day game between these two sides. First pitch tonight at 6:45. In the Eagles world, the team now has put the draft and the White House visit in the rear view. Ahead of them, a few big decisions, including whether to move on from tight end Dallas Goddard and whether to pick up defensive tackle Jordan Davis's 5th-year option on his rookie contract. The Inquirer's Jeff McClain joined Kincade and Salciunas earlier today and said he expects the Eagles to pick up that option.
The reason why this is going down the wires, are probably trying to work out something to lower that number, right? Another extension, maybe, something that would not force them to pay. I think, what is it, around $13 million? But I think if they can't get something done, I'd imagine they're going to pick it up.
We'll keep you updated with anything that happens with regards to Jordan Davis and the rest of the Eagles offseason. This update is brought to you by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com now for 60% off and free UPS shipping at code radio and get an extra 5% off. I'm Ray Dunn, your home for Truist Championship coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Vacation?
Well, he's the championship director for the 2026 PGA Championship, will be held at Aronimink Golf Club in Marple, Newtown. This is a really interesting event, but your life, Ryan, is more interesting to me. Ryan goes around and lives in various areas to plan PGA Championships, and right now you are living in Westchester way in advance, because the planning is a lot for an event like this, to plan for this 2026 PGA Championship.
Yeah,
you have a life that a lot of people envy. Go from city to city. You live here, you go there. You're playing a golf tournament, you go to another city.
it's been quite an adventure, lucky to say the least. And it's been great to be here. And thanks for having me. You know, Westchester has been very welcoming to us, Newtown Square, the membership at Aronimink, and the community at large. I mean, what a great golf community to bring a major championship back to Philly. It's a great honor for us, and selfishly, I'm excited to be here and excited to put on a show next May.
Now, this is a course with a lot of teeth. It is pro length course. It's difficult. It's accommodating to today's professionals. How does Aronimink get chosen?
Yeah, you know, when you go to select a site, it starts and stops with the golf course. It's got to be a true championship course that's going to test the best players in the world, the strongest field in golf, being a PGA Championship. And Aronimink is a traditional, tried and true course, the same design Donald Ross did back in 1928 when it opened. Gil Hanse came in 2018, did a great restoration to bring it back to some of his original designs. And then over the last year, the club's added a few tee boxes, pinched some fairways in preparation for the PGA Championship, but it's the same bones that it was. It tests the best players. The green complexes are demanding. It's a beautiful, stunning property, and it's very intimate, right? It's a tight property, so I think for our players and our spectators, it's going to be a lively experience, a lot of drama, but this course is going to shine both in person and on the broadcast.
Let's talk about the PGA tournament in general. Now, the PGA of America is not the PGA Tour, so you're not limited to get the top 50 players that are ranked in the world golf rankings. There's a lot of entries that regular professionals who are professionals at golf courses can get into. Tell us about that process on who gets into this tournament.
Yeah, it's an all-professional field, so only professional golfers compete in the PGA Championship, and it's historically the strongest field in golf. That's typically been done by the official World Golf Rankings. Over the last couple of years, that's been kind of debated because of the LIV Tour, but the PGA Championship allows LIV players to play in it, so the competition is still stout. And then we're quite unique. 20 PGA of America golf professionals qualify through our professional championship that's taking place right now in Port St. Lucie this week. So 20 club professionals get a chance to play in a major. It's quite incredible. In 2023, Michael Block was the story of the PGA Championship at Oak Hill with his performance, his hole-in-one. So those special storylines that come through and highlight who I work for, in a way, the 30,000 men and women that run golf courses, that teach golf, and are really at the grassroots levels of growing the game, a phrase that's used a lot. Our members are the ones doing that.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, just giving them an opportunity to be competitive again. These guys still play great golf.
Yeah, there are various qualifying tournaments around the nation. You have to qualify. So when you survive that qualifying tournament, you get entry into it. You have to win it to get in.
It's actually the top 20.
20. It's top 20.
So they qualify at the section level. So Philadelphia section will host an event that they qualify for the PGA Professional Championship, and then the top 20 of that get to play in the PGA Championship. It's an incredible experience. It's a great little storyline through our competition.
Yeah. Now, a lot of people know that there's 4 majors, and they're all different. Tell the people how different the PGA would be from, say, the U.S. Open, which is set up to be very punitive. PGA not as punitive, but pretty strong as well. So how do you go about setting up this course?
Yeah, absolutely. So our chief championship officer, Kerry Haig's been doing this for over 30 years. In fact, when they brought golf back to the Olympics, they could select anyone in the world to do course setup. They selected Kerry. That's how much he's revered in the industry. And he has a philosophy to make it tough but fair, and the story to not be about the PGA. He wants to set up the course and let the players compete. If the winning score is 20 under, so be it. If the winning score is 5 under, so be it. It's what do these players do? What's the uniqueness of the golf course? How do you set it up to be challenging yet fair? And we want to see drama. We want to see excitement. We want to see birdies and eagles and let these guys really show their skill. In some courses, you look at Kiowa, where I oversaw in 2021. I think the winning score, Phil, 6 under. And then Xander last year was in the 20s, and both of them were dramatic, exciting. So it's not about the PGA. It's about the best players in the world playing compelling venues, some historic, some new age, and really letting them shine on a global stage.
Yeah, the Kiowa Ocean Course, where I lost 18 balls in probably 9 holes. I've never had a more difficult course than that. But we look at your so you're living in Westchester right now. I get a restaurant recommendation for you, by the way, in Westchester. But you're from Norman, Oklahoma. And did you play golf? You went to Oklahoma State. Did you play golf there?
I always say if I played golf at Oklahoma State, the PGA would be working for me. I wouldn't be working for the PGA. You know, I was there, an incredible run. Ricky had just left. Peter Uihlein was the stud at the time. And so golf was a big part of Oklahoma State. Volunteered at events, but wasn't good enough. Didn't really play competitive golf, but fell in love with golf at a young age. Went back to work behind the counter of a golf course. And got an internship with the PGA right out of college, and the rest kind of was history.
Good for you.
From it.
Why no Oklahoma?
I got smart. I got an offer I couldn't refuse to go to. I never thought I'd go to Oklahoma State, but an employer paid for my school if I went and ran a store. So I said, let's go.
That's
go
not bad. All right, last thing. The last few winners, Schauffele won, Koepka, Justin Thomas, Phil Mickelson in 2021 with a surprise. But Koepka has won 3 of the last 6. Try to explain that to me. What is his connection with the PGA tournament?
Well, yeah, I mean, he's a 5-time major winner, 3-time PGA champion. You know, what I think Brooks does is he shows up for the most important events. His mental side of his game is better than most. The PGA Championship is one of those that you're never really out of it. You know, of course, you can lose it on day one. You can't win it. But even if you stick around, because there's opportunities to make birdies and eagles, and I think he has a mindset to stay focused, to stay locked in. And then when he gets up to the top, he's relentless. You saw him, whether it's his wins at the U.S. Open or PGA Championship in 18, he had Tiger on his tail. 19, 23. I mean, even 21, he lost to Phil. He was second. So something about the PGA Championship really brings out the best in him and the best players in the world. You look at our champions over the last 6-8 years. They're the who's who of golf, and it's been great run, and we're looking forward to crowning another one here next May.
All right, Ryan Ogle, Championship Director for the 2026 PGA Championship. Hit up Limoncello in Westchester.
I love Limoncello.
Oh, you've been there already. There you go. That's my boy Frankie. Tell him I said hello. Ryan Ogle, thanks, man. We're talking a little golf today, Billy.
I love it,
How you
man.
feeling about that? We're going to come back to your boy Serriani. Don't worry. 610-632-0975 back after this.
We want to hear from you, so text us
Missanelli Show, 97.5. The Fanatic. You guys are Slim Shady.
That's you, man.
That's me.
Eminem.
Yeah, and I'm back. Anyway, back to the Serriani thing. We'll get to our text board in a second. We'll get to our phone call, 610-632-0975. The halo effect remains surprisingly durable for Nick Serriani, which was the impression that he would be a foof. In his first 4 seasons in Philly, though, Serriani made the playoffs 4 times, won 2 division titles, had the highest winning percentage among active coaches. But before the Eagles destroyed the Chiefs in Super Bowl 54, what was it?
59.
59. What? IX is 9. Few would have ranked Serriani among the league's top coaches. Some of it was football, but the century-old halo effect, which can cloud our perceptions and negatively impact our decision-making. Often, we make snap judgments in seconds, and our first impressions are powerful. They are also often wrong. So there you go. We get it in the back end. It was often wrong, and Bill was riding that horse, and even today, Bill won't admit that he thought Serriani was a foof at first.
See, at this point, I can retire as Sirianni's defender. I'm done. I don't need to defend him anymore. He's a Super Bowl winning coach. I don't have to do it.
Hell yeah.
You know, the Sirianni love, all of that can be put on the shelf. That was in 2024. But here's where I disagree with this article a little bit when we're talking about the halo effect and the first impression that Sirianni made. After that press conference, 2021 and 2022, I felt like Sirianni won the fan base over. In 2021, after he made that flower speech, and then they go on to make the playoffs, and then
We all fertilize.
and then 2022, they have one of the greatest seasons we've seen in recent memory, but they come up short in the second half of the Super Bowl. People weren't down on Sirianni as much at that point.
They weren't down, but they always doubted.
Did they, though?
Yes. The thing you seem to be oblivious to, and this is right, until he won that Super Bowl, there were still doubts of whether he was going to get it done. Because of the first impression? But more than that, it was more than the first impression. It was how he conducted himself, things like that. And people looked at it and go, is he really a leader of men that can take a team to win something? How are you oblivious to that?
I just felt like after the 2022 season, there were less people. It was 2023 that really put people over the top, was not being able to stop the slide where they lost 6 or 7 or whatever it was down the stretch. But I understand your point. It all kind of goes back to the initial reaction we had, the initial
any reminder of that reaction.
Impression.
Any reminder, any little reminder, and he gave us plenty of little reminders, but any little reminder took us back to, is this guy a football coach or is he a goof? I mean, really, that's what it was.
Yeah, and even in the 2022 season where the team was very successful, there was debates about when he was jawing at the Chiefs fans. Or that was 2023, but in 2022 he was still doing the jawing and
That's
the
what I
mugging
mean.
for the camera.
It was
and
a
stuff
reminder
like that.
of, we got the first impression. Sometimes first impressions are wrong, yeah, but it may take a really long time for a first impression to be wrong. I'm not so sure the first impression was wrong. You know, we had to wade through some high waters to get to a point where now we can say the perception was wrong.
Yeah. Now I wonder when we talk about our first impressions. Now, obviously, Jeffrey Lurie, Howie Roseman's first impression was different because they hired him. But now they've been watching him over the last few seasons. Why haven't we gotten the contract extension yet?
Well, he said it's inevitable, so he's going
But
to get it.
what's the holdup?
I don't know.
What are the
Maybe
what are they
maybe
reluctant
the
about?
agent's playing hardball, and the Eagles go, no, you're not in a position to play hardball yet. We're going to give you some money, but don't hardball us.
But that's the thing. When you say hardball, if Sirianni's agent came in and said to Jeffrey Lurie, we want to be the second highest paid coach in the NFL, right? Andy Reid's the highest paid coach. He's making like $20 million a year. We want to come in right underneath of him. Based off of the 4 years that Nick Sirianni has had, can you really argue with that? Can Lurie really argue or negotiate the number at this point? You just went through everything that he's done in the first 4 seasons.
Number, you can say you're still a young coach. Hold your horses. I'm not going to give you the big cash that these veteran coaches have gotten.
And here's right back to our Halo effect conversation. So Crazy on our YouTube chat says it's because Sirianni's a goof. He isn't the one coaching. He's just a cheerleader.
See, still it lingers because of that first impression, because he came off as the nervous, excitable boy. Now, are we stupid to think that in his interview he actually came off as stoic as like Dan Rather? Or could he have come off in that interview as the nervous, excitable boy? In which case you go, how could they have hired the nervous, excitable boy? That's not what they were looking for. They were looking for emotional intelligence.
It is interesting
emotional intelligence.
Yeah, it is interesting that Lori says that when they hired Doug Peterson, emotional intelligence. Mm-hmm. And with Nick Sirianni, what we see isn't necessarily emotional intelligence.
No, it's emotional erraticism.
But at the same time, when you hear from the players, and they reference some of the players in the article you're referring to.
Oh, we're going to get into that, too.
It seems like he does have emotional intelligence when it comes to relating to his players.
First of all, I should have done this first. Let's start the show with this.
Mike just dabbed me up.
Hey, dab him up.
Yeah, because
because that's what we're supposed to do.
That's what Nick Sirianni in the article they talk about. He makes every player dab each other up before the meeting.
And by the way, a hug wouldn't be bad either.
Oh, you want one? Come here.
No, I get out of here.
Come on.
No, that's where I draw the line. All right, let's get to the text board. Right, what are people saying about the Eagles here?
A head coach's ability to conduct a press conference doesn't make them a good coach. So no, I didn't give a bleep about the introductory press conference. Unnamed texter from Georgia.
Liar! You're a liar! Don't tell me you're a liar. When you heard all that nonsense come out of his mouth, you went, "Oh boy." Don't even try to con me into thinking that a first impression didn't affect you as an Eagle fan. Stop it. Go ahead. Next.
Will and Horsham loved that Bill had to remind us he was right all along about
Bill, you were right all along.
Hold on. Let me clarify this. I was not a huge fan of Sirianni after his first press conference. I just wasn't going to judge him by it. I didn't leave that press conference to be like, wow, this guy's going to be a great coach.
It's impossible not to judge somebody by what you first see. It's impossible. Now, you may be wrong down the road, but when you first see it, don't tell me you didn't judge them.
I agree with you. It's impossible to judge somebody after the first time you see them. But when it comes to a football coach, I look at it as the first time he coaches, not the first time he talks to the media. That's my point.
But the whole point about whether he coaches is influenced by what you see, an impression of him as a man.
But his ability.
You always got a butt in there.
Because
you got but.
Because Mike, his ability to get in front of a Zoom camera for the first time and talk to the media does not translate to how good of a football coach he is.
The guy he is. He's a highly over-emotional, almost immature-looking fellow. And you go, this guy is going to... It's like if somebody like frantic like that was going to be president of the United States. You go, ay. There's a lot of people go, ay. Now, but beside the point.
But to your point, when you're talking about a president or a politician, that is part of the job description. You have to be able to present well in front of the media. When you're talking about a football coach who's never done it before, and they talk about it in this article, that part of the reason you saw Nick Sirianni fumble that initial press conference is he was always an offensive coordinator behind the scenes who never really had to deal with the media.
He was a rah guy as a coach, too. I mean, he wasn't like one of these authoritative coaches. He was a rah guy kissing everybody's ass that he coached as a position coach.
Oh, man, we're going to have to talk about this comment. Andy B. Sirianni could leave today and this team wouldn't skip a beat. We might be even better.
You see what I'm talking? The halo effect. It's like a neon halo.
So I'm not doing a good enough job.
610-632.
The hate continues.
0975. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Phillies return to action tonight. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies open up a 3-game series tonight with the Nationals at Citizens Bank Park. The Nationals have won 6 of their last 10. Phillies coming off a series win over the Cubs. The matchup on the mound will be between Zach Wheeler and Mackenzie Gore. If that matchup sounds familiar, that's because it was the opening day matchup between the two sides. First pitch for tonight's game is at 6:45. In the Eagles world, the team has now put the draft and the White House visit in the rear view. Ahead of them, a few big decisions, including whether to move on from tight end end Dallas Goddard and whether to pick up defensive tackle Jordan Davis's fifth-year option on his rookie contract. The Inquirer's Jeff McClain joined Kincade and Salciunas this morning and said he expects the Eagles to pick up that option.
The reason why this is going down the wires, are probably trying to work out something to lower that number, right? Another like extension, maybe, something that would not force them to pay. I think, what is it, around $13 million? But I think if they can't get something done, I imagine they're going to pick it up.
We'll keep you updated if they do get anything done with Jordan Davis and any other moves they make this offseason. This update is brought to you by ExpressPros.com. If you're ready for a new job, let Express Employment Professionals help you. Express is already hiring for summer jobs in a variety of industries. Visit ExpressPros.com. I'm Ray Dunn in your home for True's Championship coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
What I look forward to every week.
Yeah, they make him happy.
Let's get a little
Make him
sync in
happy.
there.
Yeah, he's already battling the Serriani thing today. So
Actually, Ray, you know what it's going to be in a couple days? It's going to be May. Ba-dun. Oh!
by the way, folks,
This is very, very bad.
folks, we are giving away a pair of tickets to the 2026 PGA Championship at Aronimink Golf Club. Now, you may think that's far away, but you got those tickets and you got them in storage. That's a cool thing to have in storage. You got something to look forward to.
Yeah, and I just talked to the PGA Championship guy that we had in here,
Ryan Ogle.
Ryan. Mm-hmm. Those tickets also come with free food and non-alcoholic drinks.
That's correct.
That's pretty awesome.
That is pretty awesome. Now, here's the way we're going to give it away. You have to call the show today. You have to have a salient point about something we're talking about. And if you do, I will give you a question about golf. Now, these are general questions about golf. I'm not going to ask you, who won the PGA in 1954? That's not the question I'll be asking you.
Who did win the PGA?
I don't have a freaking idea. But that's where you go. And if you get it right, these are going to be easy questions. You will qualify. And then randomly, you will be selected for the 2 championship and plus grounds tickets.
Chick Harbert.
Yeah, I just looked it up too. And an interesting fun fact, Mike, up until 1958, it was match play.
Chick Harbor won it.
Chick Harbor won it 4-3 at the Keller Golf Course in Maplewood, Minnesota.
Well, how about that?
That was his only major win.
Who won it in 62?
62 was Gary Player
Oh!
at Aronimink.
Yeah. Oh, he won it at Aronimink.
Correct. The last time it was there.
How about that? In 62 was the last time it was there?
Yep.
Wow. That's pretty amazing.
Yep. And
All
it was
right,
Gary
so
Player.
That's what we're going to do. All right. Let's get back to the text board. A lot of people texting about the Eagles today, which is interesting. Ray, what do you got?
We got Reggie here. Good morning, Mike, Ray, and Bill. Too many people play paper football. I used to play table football, folding a piece of paper onto a triangle shape, but too many people are playing on paper football. Many people, Bill included, say on paper they are blank. The games are not won on paper. Seems to be dissenting on the draft conversation we had.
Yeah,
earlier.
he is, and I agree. I this is, again, we're talking about this halo effect. Here's Howie. He's the big shiny toy out in front of the car dealership. Therefore, all the cars that he endorsed must be nice.
Yeah, but the thing I don't understand with the texter's point, what else do you have right now if you're trying to evaluate the draft that happened 2 days ago outside of on paper?
You don't have anything until you see him play. I think that's what his point is.
Exactly. But as of right now, when you look at it, you would look at the Jahad Campbell pick and say, okay, great value, great upside, a lot of potential for this guy to be a higher draft pick than 31, but he fell because of injuries. And then you look at some of the other picks. The Andrew Makuba pick is interesting because was that a little bit of a reach? Maybe. But we talked a little bit about this yesterday. Not only in Howie we trust, in Vic we trust. Vic is rubber stamping all these defensive picks now.
No question, but that doesn't mean he's right 100% of the time.
No, he's not. But that's why I'm leaning more on the positive side with the first few picks than the negative, saying, all right, well, Howie's proven over the last few years an ability to draft defensive talent now. That's something new.
He's wearing the halo.
And you got Vic. Yeah, he is wearing the halo.
Got the halo.
Have you ever had a halo?
Yeah. I've had horns.
You have the horns effect.
Not a halo. It's the Mike Missanelli Show. You're listening to 97.5 The Fanatic, WPEN HD1, Burlington, Philadelphia, Beasley Media Group Station, broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studios, powering possibilities. Let us start the 11 o'clock hour with a phone call from our leadoff hitter. Ray, do we have the walk-up song? There we go. We got it.
Every day.
Hey, look, man.
You got down there.
He got down there. What you want?
One bourbon.
One shot and one beer. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, the world famous man, Dr. Mad Elf, we call him, Greg from Bethlehem, leads off. What's up, Greg?
Geez, I don't know if I can follow that.
You certainly can because you're Greg from Bethlehem.
My reputation precedes me.
Hold on, before you make your point, Greg, we got a big question for you. So is that final case of Mad Elf's done? Did you finish it this weekend?
I got 3 left.
All right. Then you're going to have to figure out your next beer.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, I'm really perplexed or confused by the Eagles' handling of Dallas Goddard. You know, pre-draft, reading the tea leaves, I think we all thought, okay, you know, he's late for the door, and we figured, I thought anyway, that they were going to draft a tight end. Now, curiously, they didn't get a tight end, and they continue to say, well, he's on the team for the moment. And, you know, if you're a used car salesman and you got a car you want to get off the lot, somebody comes in, you don't say, yeah, we got to get this piece of crap off the lot. And I don't understand. You think they're trying to soften him up for negotiations to stay?
Maybe. That's what we were talking about yesterday. It's possible that maybe a renegotiation is in store to keep him around.
I mean, that's the only thing that makes any sense.
Yeah, did you see George Kittle just got paid yesterday? 4 years, $76 million.
Oh, that's not good news.
He got a bag.
The Eagles.
Yeah, now he's showing an ability to stay healthier than Dallas Goddard has, but yeah, not good news.
I mean, I would personally prefer that Dallas stays. I think he can be productive, even if he has injuries. You know, he's still
I agree. If they don't have a replacement, really, you know, Calcaterra, I think is just, you know, I'll spell the starter type of tight end. So I agree. I would like to keep him around.
I mean, I don't know what makes the difference. You know, you think they're waiting for him to come down on his number?
I think that maybe they're relying that he wants to stay with a winning organization. Maybe. I don't know.
Well, look, he's under contract. I mean, if they don't do anything, Goddard's here. It's just that he carries close to a $12 million cap hit.
I got you.
So we'll see what he has.
Hey, Greg, got a golf question for you to qualify for the tickets. Here is the question.
Okay.
What is the name of the biennial men's golfing competition played between teams from Europe and the U.S. of A?
Oh, my God.
Well, if you don't get this one, come on now. It's very easy.
If you don't get it, you don't deserve the ticket.
Yeah, you're right.
It should be easy. I don't know.
Oh, Greg, you're out. It's the Ryder Cup.
Yeah.
Come on now.
You're not.
Hey, this is the kind of easy golf questions we're asking people. You can, she can qualify automatically for the damn tickets.
Yeah.
With these kind of questions.
Even I knew that one.
Yeah.
Even Ray knew that one.
Now, the Ryder Cup this year is at Bethpage Black. Have you played there before?
No, I hear it's very difficult.
Yeah. Isn't there's like a sign when you get there that this course is just for advanced golfers. I've never played there either.
Right? Can you go there, since it's a muni, can you go there and wear a fish T-shirt? or do you have to have a collared shirt? Like mine today. How do you like my shirt today?
I like it. Is that a White Mars shirt?
It is.
It is. And I'm wearing a Legacy Club shirt.
Well,
We're like Battle of the Clubs today.
I thought you were going to notice the color. You know what color this is?
Salmon.
No.
Fuchsia.
Nope. Raspberry.
I wouldn't admit that.
It is called.
You're wearing a raspberry colored shirt.
The color on the tag was raspberry.
It is a nice shirt.
That's a nice raspberry shirt.
I like the pattern. It almost has like a Louis Vuitton type pattern going.
Yeah, I don't even know what the pattern is.
Either do I.
You know, I'm glad you acknowledged it.
The funny thing is that
brought it up.
Both of us look like we could golf the way we're dressed today. But combined, our indexes aren't too promising. Was this to shut me up? Oh, Raspberry Beret. Look at Ray.
Look at Ray. How about that?
Proof I know something that happened before the year 2000.
Coming up with Prince.
Out of nowhere, Ray.
Prince out of nowhere.
Good
Raspberry
job, Ray.
Beret.
Favorite Prince song? What do you got?
I don't know. Should I go with Doves? I don't know. I'd have to. I had that,
A lot of good songs.
I had that double album, which was sensational.
Yeah, Prince.
It was when it was an album.
Prince was
the double
phenomenal.
album. So when did that double album come out? 93?
I don't know.
4?
I would be guessing.
Somewhere in that area.
Was a Little Red Corvette on
yes,
that too?
it was.
Little Red Corvette.
All right.
Sounds just like him.
Let's go back to the text board. What do you got something to say?
Before you go to the text board, I got a funny tweet at me.
Yeah.
About this
what
first impression conversation.
What is it?
So this is coming from Homer5711. Bill, regarding first impressions, my first impression of you made me realize not to put too much into first impressions. The first time I heard you, I thought to myself, who is this meathead? Now, I'm always interested and respect your opinion.
Oh, my God. You turned cerebral?
I turned him.
That's another thing you have in common with Serriani. From bonehead to cerebrality. If that's a word.
We're winning people over left and right, me and Nick.
610-632-0975. Back after this.
Andrew Salciunas.
I'm not moving to the outfield. If
Mike Missanelli Show. Well, since Ray got me in a Prince kind of mood there with his playing of Raspberry Beret, I started to focus a little bit and found my favorite Prince song.
All right, what do we got?
Dance, music, sex, romance. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
I don't know that one.
Oh, stop it.
Unless you're just butchering it.
No. Dance, music, sex, romance. All right. That was in a very prominent movie of the 80s. I'm going to test the chat board. Where did DMSR, what movie was it featured in?
I don't know. Let's see if anybody gets it.
It was a Tom Cruise movie.
Oh, wait, in the 80s? A Tom Cruise movie in the 80s.
The chat board will get it because it was played in a prominent scene in that movie.
It's got to be, is Rebecca in it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Rebecca is in it.
Well, JM just got it. Risky Business.
That is correct. Risky Business when they had the brothel party.
Yes.
At Joel Goodson's house.
Man.
And they played that in the background.
Is that his first, big hit?
No. Well,
Risky Business?
Yeah. Oh, Tom Cruise?
Yeah, I'm talking about Tom Cruise.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I don't even know if he was in a movie before that.
All the Right Moves is around that time, right?
Stefan Djordjevic.
Yeah, that's around the same time, I think.
All right, so the 1999 was the album. So, 1999, Let's Pretend We're Married, Something in the Water, All the Critics Love You in New York, Little Red Corvette, DMSR, Free, International Lover, Delirious Automatic, and Lady Cab Driver. A very underrated Prince song.
I don't know if I know that one either.
You got blown up on your Prince, man.
Yeah, I do. And Prince wrote a lot of songs, right, that we don't even know were his.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I mean, we know. But
Brilliant man. Brilliant musician.
Yeah, it's a shame. Died too young, man.
Yeah, he did. All right, let's get back to our text board. And then we got Reggie on the road. Reggie checking in. I want to know where in the world is Reggie on the road? But what's the text board saying today?
Tommy from Philly chiming in on the draft. Campbell was a steal at 31. Loved the pick. Great value. Makuba was a little early for me at 64. Maybe better suited for the slot based on body. I like the player. Just thought there was better talent on the board. I would have went Siobhan Ravel at 64. Robinson, I also thought was a bit of a reach. Could have got him in the fifth. I feel like defensive tackle C.J. West was the better value pick at 111.
A lot of amateur draftniks out there trying to put them trying to say they know better than Mr. Hero at this point. Howie Hero.
Well, do you remember? I mean, we're not going that far back to think about the time where people used to rip Howie for his drafting ability. Mm-hmm. I mean, that was the common theme going back to the 2020 draft. I mean, Howie can't draft; he's terrible. We used to view Howie as just a contract guy. Like, all he's good at is figuring out the contracts. But I think he has evolved, and I think he's surrounded himself with a lot of scouts who are more talented at identifying talent. It's interesting, too. They ended up, you could tell kind of where they scouted, because even in the undrafted free agent market, they brought in some guys from Toledo. They also brought in the dude from Clemson, friends with Jeremiah Trotter. It's interesting.
Yeah.
You could see where they're probably scouting, and clearly the SEC. They love the SEC. Before, he used to try to outthink everybody.
Correct. All right, let's go to Reggie, who's on the road. I want to find out where he is, our truck driver friend who listens to the show. Reggie, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Where are you right now?
Outside of Mount Rainier, Sumner, Washington.
Oh, my God, Mount Rainier up there in the state of Washington.
And it's snow-covered.
Oh, my God. What's that country look like this time of year? Describe it. It is?
Yeah, a lot of green, evergreen trees all over the place. And then those two mountain peaks, Mount Rainier and what's the other one? The one that exploded way back in 1980.
Yeah. What exploded? What is it? Yeah. What they had the big volcano?
Olympia.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
No, Mount St. Helen.
But Mount St. Helen. That's
Mount St. Helen. You're right.
St. Helen. Good call, Ray.
Hold on. Let me start over. Good morning, Mike. Good morning, Ray. And as I said to the producer, I have a little jingle for Bill. A funny jingle.
Reggie always likes to take a shot at me to start the call. I like it. What do you got?
Yeah,
What do you got?
All right. Bill, this one is called Liar, Liar, Your Serriani Shorts Are on Fire.
Reggie, I didn't say that I thought he was going to be a good coach. I just said I wasn't ready to judge him at his first press conference.
Okay. I still am not ready. And analyzing, because I played football in high school, but football coaches talk to people, talk to groups of people, right? And if I can take you back to when Ray Rhodes was hired, Ray Rhodes said something that at his first press conference for Philadelphia, Ray Rhodes said, and again. That was the first two words that came. So that made me think, what do you mean, and again? How are you at your first press conference here saying something that is not applicable? So a lot of times in human nature, we will memorize pop culture phrases and overuse them and not give any substance. I like substance. I like to give substance. So I'm still not on the Serriani bandwagon.
Oh, my God. He won a Super Bowl.
Yeah,
this is what this guy does to people. This is why Bill fights the good fight all the time.
I thought I was done fighting this
All
fight.
right.
They'll fight it, Bill.
No, hold on. Let me take you back. Tom Coughlin was the coach of the Giants when the Giants beat the Patriots, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I sincerely felt, from watching that game, they won the game in spite of him standing on the sideline, in spite of him being the coach. And I felt the same way when we won this Super Bowl because the defense did it.
Oh, my God.
The defense did it. Now,
Listen to this.
we can go back to, let's go back to when Kansas City beat us. When that game, I don't believe we punted, but then when we did punt, that's the call that Serriani made, the momentum changed in that game. We were getting first downs, all those fourth and shorts, and that Super Bowl, we converted every one of them, but then that one time that he punted, momentum changed in that particular game.
I got you. All right. Listen, Reg, I'm going to give you give you a golf question.
Oh, okay.
All right. This is qualify for next year's PGA. You might be in Philly then when on the road, and you can stop in the golf tournament. All right. What is Tiger Woods' full name? Now, if you give the full name beyond the first name, you'll get 2 tickets in the pot for to be drawn at the end of the show. First of all, what is his first name?
Ooh, wow. I know his ethnicity. I don't know that one. I don't know.
Oh, Reg. You are out. Reggie's out. Oh, who didn't know that his first name is Eldrick?
Yeah.
But what is his middle name, Bill?
That one I did not know.
It's Tant.
Yeah. I didn't know that.
Reg, you know that?
I had no idea. I had the first name, did not have the middle name.
Eldrick Tant Woods, which probably has some kind of an Asian connotation, I would think.
Now,
right?
do you think...
With his mom?
Do you think if he would have never changed his name to Tiger, that his brandability would have been as good as an Eldrick?
No.
Eldrick Woods.
Strategic move to call him Tiger.
Tiger's an incredible name, man.
610-632-0975. Mike Missanelli Show. We get deeper into the analysis of Nick Sirianni and what he did and how he's not able to overcome the original perception. Is that the truth? Is that 100% what the opinion is among the masses, Bill?
I hope not.
Back after this.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Phillies return to action tonight. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies open up a 3-game series tonight with the Nationals at Citizens Bank Park. The Nationals have won 6 of their last 10. Did get crushed yesterday by the Bats. Phillies coming off a series win over the Cubs. Matchup on the mound be Zach Wheeler and Mackenzie Gore. Familiar matchup. The two matching up on opening day this season. First pitch for the game tonight at 6:45. In Eagles world, the team has now put the draft at the White House visit in the rear view. Ahead of them a few big decisions, including whether to move on from tight end Dallas Goddard and whether to pick up defensive tackle Jordan Davis his fifth-year option on his rookie contract. The Inquirer's Jeff McClain joined Kincade and Salciunas and said he expects the Eagles to pick up that option.
The reason why this is going down the wires, they're probably trying to work out something to lower that number, right? Another like extension, maybe, something that would not force them to pay. I think, what is it, around $13 million? But I think if they can't get something done, I imagine they're going to pick it up.
We'll keep you updated with whatever they do with both Goddard and Jordan Davis's option right here on The Fanatic. This update is brought to you by Dairy Queen. Get big summer flavor in every bite with the new DQ Summer Blizzard Treat menu featuring new mixing bowl mashup, s'mores, and more. Available now. DQ, happy tastes good at participating locations. I'm Ray Dunn, your home for the Truist Championship coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
26, Mike Missanelli Show, 97.5 The Fanatic. Bill's really peeved about this Bill Belichick thing.
More info coming out.
We'll get into it in a second. But I first want to go back to the Serriani thing. The story cites a lot of circumstance when he was first hired. So they quote Lurie at Sirianni's first news conference. He said, "The first step, I think, in being a great coach in modern football today, modern sports today, is to care very much about the players and coaches you work with." Serriani had what Lurie called, quote, the hidden sauce. He exuded authenticity and care. He possessed an edge. All right. The edge we saw, he talked trash on the sidelines. He wore the T-shirts. He jawed with the officials, saying, "I know what the bleep I'm doing," if you remember that. He yelled at his own fans. That was the edge, what this story says. What was less apparent was how he excelled behind the scenes in the moments of one-on-one connection. He welcomed players into his office for chats. He outlined 5 core values, Ray: football IQ, physicality, toughness, details, and connection, as opposed to the other NFL coaches in the league who probably don't give a care about any of those attributes. He delivered details and somewhat confusing metaphors about plants. In last team meetings before games, tight end Dallas Goddard said Serriani instituted a tradition. The players would walk around the room and embrace one another. First thing we do in a team meeting, we all stand up, we go around the room and dap each other up. Oh, Bill, speak to it.
Listen, I've said this.
So much good.
I've said this.
Harry High School horse bleep. Never mind. Go ahead.
And
I'm sorry.
It works. It works.
It didn't work when they lost 6 or 7. This is why all these stories go, "Oh, he's so wonderful. He did this. He did this tradition. He embraced people. It's about the personalities." And they lost 6 or 7. You got to take this stuff with a grain of salt, Bill.
The 6 or 7 is a small sample size over the first 4 seasons that he's been here. But I've said this before about him. Whether you like the way he is or not, you used a word that Jeffrey Lurie used in the beginning after the press conference: authenticity. I've said that before. What you see is what you get with Sirianni. That's who he is. He's not pretending to be somebody. And I think when you're an NFL player, all you want is to have a coach that's genuine. You don't want somebody to pretend, because they'll see right through it. And that's what you're getting from him. We may not like the way he acts at times. I'm sure Jeffrey Lurie didn't like the way he acts at times either. But that is who he is.
Every segment, we're going to dap up.
Tap it. Tap it. I want the bro hug, though. I want the bro hug.
No hug.
I want the Roger Goodell hug. But listen, I remember going back. Tim McManus from ESPN, who's a friend of the show, comes on every Friday during football season. He wrote an article. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was him, Ray, who wrote the article about Sirianni and how much he connected with players and gave examples of players whose mom may have been battling cancer or father, and Sirianni was asking about it. Like, this guy does connect with these players. I know you call it Harry High School, but there is something about the culture that has been built down at the NovaCare complex.
HHH, I call it. Triple H.
Well, then Harry High School just won a Super Bowl.
Triple H been taken? I don't know.
Hunter Hearst Helmsley? Listen.
Oh, Harry High School horse bleep.
It worked.
Okay.
It worked.
All right. It worked. All right. Now, Bill, let's get to the crux of here. You're really steamed about this. You hate to see a man's testicles in a jar.
It's
you hate it.
Right. All right, so here's what happened.
It really bothers you when you see, Macho Man have his...
Well, Ray played yesterday during the News at Noon the clip of Bill Belichick being interviewed by CBS Morning, and then his girlfriend Jordan Hudson interrupts and says, "We're not going there," talking about how they met. Well, there's a new report today from TMZ. At one point, Jordan Hudson stormed out of the room and delayed the shooting of the interview by 30 minutes. Per the report, there were numerous other instances of Hudson interrupting Belichick beyond the one specific interjection that made the final cut. Now listen to this. This is the craziest part. She reportedly would stop and correct Belichick when he was answering questions about football. Are you kidding me? About football. Bill Belichick, maybe the greatest football coach we've ever seen in the history of the NFL, who would be able to do interviews without giving any information. They would try to get stuff from him for years. We're on to Dallas. We're on to Denver. And now Jordan Hudson has to stop and correct him when he's answering questions about football. This is getting wild, Ray.
This is bad. This is very, very bad.
Let me just, there's another story today that the embarrassing CBS interview where she said, we're not talking about that, and she interrupted and the whole thing. The legendary football coach's friends were, quote, shaking their heads. They are talking to him about her, but very gently because they know how deep it is. The consensus around people around Belichick is that this relationship is, quote, alarming, and that Hudson is, quote, a runaway train. Why do people care? What business is it of theirs to think that the girl's a runaway train? He has chosen this path to be with this 24-year-old for whatever reason it is, whether it's sexual, whether it makes him feel younger, whether he likes going around with a show pony, whatever it is. Why should people care?
Well, here's why. All right? Because there's more in this TMZ article. And it says here, so the TMZ article ends with a quote that says, while pointing out that folks at UNC are worried about Hudson's influence over Belichick in his role as the Tar Heels head coach, TMZ quotes an unnamed source as saying, and this is the quote, there is a growing sense this could become a problem. She has now taken over. He's the head coach. She does not have a job title at UNC.
Should you care about that? Why should the general population care about how he's conducting his life? Now, if I'm the athletic director at the University of North Carolina and I see it's interfering with the program, then I care. But why in general should his friends and people around him care? What are they afraid of? That she's going to stab him in the heart? Like one night? Like what's the threat here?
Well, I guess because you're right. Unless you're a UNC grad or a UNC player, what do you necessarily care? But I think it's because we love drama as human beings, and this is like.
But it's like you're worried about the guy because an overzealous girlfriend is taking advantage of the fact that he wants to be with somebody younger. So we're like, what is that our business? It's not our business. It's his business.
I know, but this is just.
You just don't like to see a man's testicles in a jar.
It's just too interesting.
Macho man that you are, you hate that.
No, it's not. Has nothing to do with that. It has to do with that we're talking about Bill Belichick. You're talking about a guy who not only was one of the greatest coaches ever, his whole persona, everything, the way he carried himself, everything was like this patriot way and how he did things. And now all of a sudden, he's sitting there and Jordan Hudson's correcting him about football questions. It's wild, Mike. It's blowing my mind. Ray, are you interested in this at all?
Are you one of Belichick's sons?
No.
Do you think that she's after his fortune? Like, why do you care personally?
Well, I guess they're not married.
If I'm one of his sons and I see this woman come in and maybe he's going to rewrite his will and they get guts, then maybe I'm concerned. But why you or any member of the public? Why should they care?
I don't know.
Because it embarrasses mankind?
A lot of people.
Why? Exactly.
A lot of people do care.
Well, why? I want to know why. Please call the show and tell me why you care about this. Why are you outraged?
I don't know. I can't stop reading about it.
Is this some depletion of manhood in your mind?
It has nothing to do with that. If this was just a random guy, I wouldn't care. To each his own. But the fact that it's Belichick.
You're not related to him. You're not his son. Why do you care?
The fact that it's Belichick. It's so wild to see.
Ray, do you care?
Oh, yeah.
You care?
Absolutely.
I know. Why do you care, Ray?
Because it's wild. Again.
It's his life. It's not your life.
Yeah, but Mike, if I showed up here one day with, by the way, I'm dating a 72-year-old woman, and now I'm into fine wine. No, that's a lie.
Oh, yeah.
That's a lie.
Mike wouldn't even ask you about it.
I would say, hey, knock yourself out. Salud. If you like a 72-year-old woman, she turns you on in some way, go for it.
It would be a 4-hour show. We would be breaking down what exactly is going on in my life.
Because we like to break your stones. But what investment do I have in Bill Belichick's life?
Is that not what we do every day about the world of sports? And this man was at the center of the world of sports.
Why do we care? We can talk about this. It's fun to talk about. I get it. But why do we care? We seem to care about his life like, oh, my God, something bad is going to happen because he's got some overzealous young woman who's ruining his life now. Oh, my God.
But, Mike, the reason I think people care so much, it's not just the fact that it's a 70-year-old man with a 24-year-old woman. 74-year-old man. It's that it's Bill Belichick. I mean, the ultimate condescending, I'm smarter than everybody else, all that.
I will admit to this. I felt cringy when Gene Hackman kissed Barbara Hershey in Hoosiers. but this I don't care about. 610-632-0975. If you call the show, you get a chance to answer a golf question and qualify for a pair of tickets to the 2026 PGA Championship at a Runneman Golf Club in Newtown Square. It's the Mike Missanelli Show. We're back after this.
We want to hear from you, so text us at 610-
Mike Missanelli Show, 97.5 Fanatic. I'm sure we get a lot of reaction. I'm really curious as to why we care about what Belichick does with his private life. I really do. Like, I think the New York Post cares, like salacious TMZ type situations care about it, and it is kind of like interesting to hear about. But I go, why would you care? Let the man live his life. If he comes off looking like a fool here, he's got to deal with that, not me. And the fact of the matter is, he's going, I got a few years to live. Why not? I don't get it. It's not going to.
I have no issues what anyone wants to do with their life. It's not that.
I think you do.
The reason why it's so interesting is you don't find it a little strange that a 24-year-old woman is correcting Bill Belichick, 6-time Super Bowl winning head coach, on questions about football for a national interview? You don't find that a little weird?
Of course I find it strange. And do I think that she's like this high-maintenance, crazy person who will put you in an early grave? Yes. But he chose that. He chose it, not me. I don't have anything to say. If that woman drives him into an early grave, I assume his kids will go, see? But other than that, I got no stake in it.
Maybe he'll die happy.
You don't find it just slightly weird that the same age pool that I'm dating in is the one that Bill Belichick's dating in?
Of course, Ray, it's strange, but it's his life.
I get it, but it's
you don't get it. You don't get it. Does he think it's strange? Apparently not. But you think it's strange. He doesn't.
You don't think there's ever a moment that comes across his mind like, wow, this is the life I'm living right now?
Do you own his life?
No.
He owns his life.
That's absolutely
Everybody's entitled to own their own life.
Correct.
This is why when I see these relationships, I go, these people chose that. Now, maybe she chose it because she thinks she's going to get a big payday maybe she's the gold digger of the entire universe.
I think she's got a big payday regardless at this point.
Well, whatever it is, I don't care. He chose it.
Listen. Throw all that out the window. Even if they're madly in love and there's nothing about gold digging, nothing. They're madly in love. It's a real relationship. What I find the most interesting thing is how Bill Belichick has completely changed. A guy who was. Could you imagine when he was the coach of the Patriots if anybody else was bringing their girlfriend around the team and was having them answer questions, even if it was Tom Brady? Like, he would never have allowed any of that stuff.
Yeah, at first it was this is an interesting relationship. Now, to me, it's this is a lot of her in the circle of a guy I don't think I could ever see Bill Belichick in this world before. So it's an adjustment period for people to look at him and perceive him the way they have before.
I'm all for personal freedom.
There's more in this TMZ article.
I'm not telling them to break up. I have no power to do that.
It's like that story with Anna Nicole Smith. Remember that? Anna Nicole Smith.
She had the older man.
Arthur Marshall or whatever the hell the guy's name was. He was like 90 years old. And I'm going, maybe Arthur Marshall likes some big-breasted blonde sitting on his winky. What do I care? What do I know? You know who the people that should be concerned? Maybe his siblings, his kids, that he was going to pass the fortunes down to. And maybe they looked at her, and I go, I don't care. The guy wants Anna Nicole Smith in his life. She smells good. What do I know?
It's different, though. That guy wasn't Bill Belichick. Like that. No,
he was 10 times more important than Bill Belichick.
That's the difference.
He was a gazillionaire.
I mean, this is the guy, Bill Belichick, who you would watch press conferences of him, and he wouldn't give you any information. But here, there's more in this article. So apparently, CBS was surprised that when Belichick arrived for the interview, that he was accompanied only by Hudson. There was no one from his publisher. There was no one from the University of North Carolina, and there was no other representative present, and it was an interview that was supposed to promote his new book. It also goes on to say that there had been a second interview planned with Belichick, but CBS scrapped it after this. This is wild stuff, Mike. That's why I'm so interested in it.
I don't know why. I still don't know why you're interested in it. Wait, Bill Belichick, is he God? Is he Gandhi? Is he Mandela? Like, what? Who cares? Bill Belichick, he's a football coach.
Now, we also didn't talk about something that happened. This was probably going back maybe like 2 or 3 weeks now, that it was reported that Belichick also told the University of North Carolina to start including her on all of his emails. So now she also gets every email from the university. Dude, this is getting wild. Like, it's funny.
Listen, if the North Carolina Athletic Administration came out and made a statement, they don't like this because it's hampering the program. That's the news value of it. Otherwise, I got no news value. I got a young girl who's probably a gold digger. Well, maybe she likes him. Maybe she likes his wit. I'm told that he's actually a pretty witty, funny guy off the beaten track.
Hold on. Brandon just sent me something. I don't think this can't be real. It says that they've released a statement, and there's this long statement. I'll have to. No, this can't be real. This can't be real.
Bill's all upset.
Well, Brandon's got to vet that before sending it to me.
My coworkers are obsessed here.
No, I'm just more shocked that, like, opinions is kind of what we do here. Your opinion to not have an opinion on one of these.
No, I have an opinion on it. I see it clearly for what it is. I go, why should I care? It seems like both you guys care about the legacy of Bill Belichick being ruined somehow. And all he's doing is living his life. He's in the I'm gonna die stage of his life. I'm like, if I last 6 more years, that'll probably be a lot. In those 6 years, I'd like to have a pretty woman who smells nice, who takes me for all the money and tries to control my life. That feels okay to me at this stage.
And I guess that, like, I'm totally cool with him to live the life he wants to live. I also can sit here and say the Bill Belichick that I saw for however many years, I'm just shocked that this is the way it went.
People are entitled to change in their older age, right?
And I'm entitled to be shocked by it. I'm more than happy for him to do what he wants. Go ahead, man.
I need to talk to people about this because apparently you guys have an opinion, and I'm sure people share your opinion. I'd like to have a conversation about it.
It's funny because you say, why do you care? I just opened up my Facebook, and the first thing that pops up is a picture of them, and the caption says, Bill, blink twice if you need help. So it's not just us.
Yeah, you know what I get?
It's coming from everywhere.
I raise a glass of wine to him. You know what, brother? Go ahead.
Briganti by the Bay wine?
Briganti by the Bay wine is correct. And we have a big event coming up this weekend I want to tell you about, by the way. All right, you want to show up for the big event?
Man, I got the kids this weekend.
Didn't even give you a time. Didn't even give you a day.
Well, yeah, haven't even done it yet.
I actually do have the kids this weekend.
In any event, we have a pair of tickets to give away for the PGA 2026 Championship for your interview. Well, with our interview with Ryan Ogle we had on earlier. So all you have to do is call the show, give me an opinion about Bill Belichick. It's simple as that. And I'll give you a little golf question that's easy to answer, and you'll qualify for tickets to next year's PGA. That's going to be a hot ticket. The Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Phillies return to action tonight. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies open up a 3-game series tonight with the Nationals at Citizens Bank Park. The Nationals won 6 of their last 10. Did get crushed yesterday by the Mets. The Phillies coming off a series win over the Cubs in Wrigley over the weekend. The matchup on the mound be Zach Wheeler and Mackenzie Gore. A rematch of the opening day game between these two sides. The first pitch tonight is at 6:45. In Eagles world, the team has now put the draft the White House visit in the rearview. Ahead of them a few big decisions, including whether to move on from tight end Dallas Goddard, whether to pick up defensive tackle Jordan Davis' fifth-year option on his rookie contract. The Enquirer's Jeff McClain joined Kincade and Salciunas this morning, said he expects the Eagles to pick up that option.
The reason why this is going down the wires, they're probably trying to work out something to lower that number, right? Another extension, maybe, something that would not force them to pay. I think, what is it, around $13 million? But I think if they can't get something done, I imagine they're going to pick it up.
We'll keep you updated with whatever they decide to do with Jordan Davis. This update is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. The feeling of owning your first Mercedes-Benz, hard to believe, but it's real. From leather stitching, the iconic design, every element of Mercedes lives up to its reputation. See for yourself at your local dealer. I'm Ray Dunn, your home for Truist Championship coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
John Kincade.
I would rather have one guy.
In 5 minutes' time, it is the news at noon. Till then, we proceed. 610-632-0975. Any text board comments on Mr. Belichick, Ray?
Plenty of them.
Plenty of them.
Yeah. All right. I'll give you the agreement off the first here. I agree with Mike on the Belichick thing. Oh, never mind. No, we're not going down that path. Okay. It's the optics, Mike. We don't care who he is dating, but there's something off about this. The cringe videos sparked the curiosity. I smell blackmail. Bill, blink twice if you're in trouble. Jeez.
Yo, you say that.
Wait, it's the optics. What do you mean?
The optics are bad. But
why? What optics?
Well, he just said blackmail. During the break, Brandon, who runs our YouTube, he said to me, he goes, Bill, I think she's got something on Belichick. That's why. I don't think that has anything to do with it. I don't want to say on air what I think it is.
What optics? He's an older man. She's a younger woman. Okay. Beyond those optics, they are consenting adults.
Well, I would say the optics following the interview are we all had this story of how they met, and then they wouldn't just go with that same innocuous story in the interview. I think for some people, that's the optics following this of, wait a second, now you're not saying how you met? I thought we all knew how you met.
Yeah, didn't they say they met on an airplane?
Yeah, he signed the textbook while she was at Rutgers, and that was the whole thing.
Yeah.
Why would we care how they met?
Well, that was the question she shut down on the CBS morning show.
Okay.
But we thought we already knew how they met. They met on an airplane. They sat next to each other. But maybe that wasn't in fact true when she says, no, we're not going there. So now people are letting their imaginations run wild. I saw people today saying, oh, she must have been from an escort service. Like, people are going crazy with it.
All right.
It is a great story.
Let's go.
It is.
Let's go to the phones. We're talking Alex from Bethlehem. What's up, Alex? How you doing today?
Yo, guys. Mike, Bill, Ray, how we doing today?
Fantastic. How are you?
Yeah, I'm great. Thanks for taking my call. So I have some golf futures bets for you guys, today's theme being golf. But real quick on the draft, I like to wait and see how things play out. I don't usually have strong opinions right after the draft, but I have to say, guys, I do like Campbell. I really like our first pick. When Micah Parsons came out, they talked a lot about his versatility. And so I just like the fact that Campbell's versatile. I think it's an indication that he's possibly a really good player.
Okay. Listen, it's possible that every player that they picked is a very good player. But, like, the grades, are over the top that, they had such a wonderful draft. And I'm going, that's the halo effect with Howie Roseman. You know? He's riding high right now, so everything he does is golden.
Yeah. I'm with you, Mike. I like to let things play out, but I do have a ton of trust in this organization. Now, one thing I have been paying a lot of attention to and studying, these golf majors. I know not everyone loves golf, but everyone loves making money. So, Mike, I have some winners for you right here in front of me.
Okay. What's this for next year? For the 2026 PGA?
I'm talking 2025 majors.
Okay.
Okay, the PGA Championship's coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Justin Thomas is having a hell of a year, and he's won there before. He's 20-1. I like JT to take the PGA.
All right, I'm going to take that under advisement.
And the U.S. Open is Bryson DeChambeau to win. He played very well there as an amateur in 2016. And the Open Championship in July.
All right, get your future bets in here. Get your future bets in there.
Exactly right.
All right.
My last one for you guys.
Go ahead.
My last one, Shane Lowry, 40-1 Open Championship.
Oh, Shane.
Wow.
Winning the Open Championship. Okay. That's in Ireland, of course. All right, so here's your golf question for you to qualify for the tickets for the 2026 PGA. Who was the first Spanish golfer to win the U.S. Open?
The first Spanish golfer, probably. I don't know if Seve ever won the Open, but I'm gonna go with Seve Ballesteros.
That would be incorrect.
Wow, that's a good guess, though.
John Rahm was the first Spaniard to win the U.S. Open, so he does not qualify.
Rahm.
That's a shame. You're listening to the Mike Missanelli Show on 97.5, The Fanatic, WPEN, WPEN HD1, Burlington, Philadelphia, a Beasley Media Group station, broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studios, powering possibilities. Ray, hit it!
The Fanatic signing bonus.
All righty, it is the signing bonus. And let's see, do I have the signing bonus here in front of me? I don't think I do. Ray, can you take over?
Yeah, absolutely. I can tell you all about the Fanatic signing bonus, which we absolutely love here. It is time for your chance to win $1,000. The key word for our noon contest is points. Points. Points is the keyword. You have 25 minutes after the hour to enter it on the Fanatic mobile app or at 97.5 The Fanatic. You can text it. The special contest short code 45911. That's 45911, not our text line. One random entry wins $1,000 in this company-wide contest. Each winner gets a call from Beasley, so be sure to answer your phone. Contest rules at 975thefanatic.com. The Fanatic signing bonus is sponsored by Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia, voted best casino in PA by Casino Player Magazine. 5 chances to win each weekday, 8 and 10 a.m., 12 noon, 3 and 5 p.m. Yeah. Good luck to you all.
What he said. Because here's my sheet right there, and you can see it says points.
He gave it to you.
POINTS is your keyword. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is that time. Have your lunch, savor your lunch over some amusing stories that we call the news at noon.
There's a whole lot going on in this world. It's time to catch up. Here's the news at noon. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Ray Dunn with 3 interesting little tales and maybe some excess audio tacked on for today's news at noon. What do we got today, Ray?
All right, we're going to have my fascination with an NBA game coming up. But before that, I want to take you up to Buffalo because everyone does their draft reaction show. We talked about it yesterday. How did the Eagles do? What do we like? What didn't we like? Up in Buffalo. The Jeremy and Joe show on 550 or WGR 550.
The Jeremy and Joe show.
Their morning show up there.
Okay.
They had their reaction show. They're not thrilled about the wide receiver core up there for the Bills. Now, they were saying this as they were prepared to have the general manager on. Brandon Beane was going to join the show. He did not like their draft reaction show. Here is the beginning of his phone call with them. This is just him getting on the air. No questions asked.
I was just listening to the last few minutes of your show before I came on, waiting on here.
All right.
Sounds like 2018 all over with you guys.
Oh, how so?
Well, you guys were bitching in 2018 about Josh Allen. You guys wanted Josh Rosen, and now you guys are bitching that we don't have a receiver. I don't get it. Like, we just hold on, let me talk. We just scored 30 points in a row for 8 straight games. A year ago, I get you guys asking why we didn't have receivers, but I don't understand it now. You just saw us lead the league in points when you add all the postseason. No one scored more points than the Buffalo Bills, including the Super Bowl champions. So you just saw us do it without Stephon Diggs, same group. How is this group not better than last year's group? Our job is to score points and win games. Where do we need to get better? Defense. We did that. So I get it. You got to have a show and you got to have something to bitch about. But bitching about wide receiver is one of the dumbest arguments I've heard.
Nice. I love that.
I do too.
Give it back to him. All right, you want to now explain your way out of that little conundrum, Joe and Jeremy?
Yeah, I like that from Brandon
Jeremy
Beane.
and Joe. Explain your way out of that one, Ray.
See, that's exactly what I'm picturing when Daryl Morey finally comes on the show. Is he going to tell Mike, what are you bitching about veteran players for?
Oh, and I'll go, I'll counterpunch that son of a gun.
No, but good for Brandon Beane, man.
So you guys say that. We talked today about the halo effect for Howie and the fact that them winning the Super Bowl gives him immunity.
Uh-huh.
Brandon Beane does not have the halo effect because they haven't gotten over the hump. I was reading the replies to this. Oh, no good.
But have they not got over the hump because of their offense? Brandon Beane's right. Their offense is good.
He made a point. Now, I would love to hear how Jeremy and Joe answered that little point.
Well, you can go find it on the podcast page.
Jeremy and Joe, you got to bounce off of something like that. Come on now, Double J.
It was amazing. He was just laughing at him talking, and he was like, no, I need to let me finish here. I think
Good for him.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was
now, if Maury tries to do that to me, I go, That's what I would do. That would be my retort.
All right, we'll go put in that request again.
All right.
Yeah, keep putting it in.
All right, moving on. I was intrigued by the fallout from last night with the Heat. They go out sadly, and we'll listen to just how pathetic it was, as told by Inside the NBA in a moment. But Bam Adebayo, after the game, quite bold. I don't think any time that someone's taken an issue with Pat Riley in the offseason, it's worked out in their favor in Miami. Listen to how he refers to Pat Riley in this clip.
I don't know. It's going to be a lot of changes this summer. Just from my point of view, understanding how, the guy with the silver hair works. Just be prepared for that.
The guy with the silver hair.
That's no good. He's going to find himself out of there. But here's the thing I would ask Bam Adebayo. How do you not have better numbers? Like, everybody has what a wonderful player. How do you not have better averages in your game? He should be a better player than he is.
In what respect? You think he
should be more of a dominant scorer? He's content not to be a scorer.
Yeah, he
should be a scorer.
I'm looking at his numbers. I mean, you're right. He's not a dominant scorer, but he's consistent.
Should be a better scorer. You can't win if your best player is getting what? 8? What's the average? 18 a game?
In the playoffs, he averaged 18, yeah.
I think in the regular season, the average is 18 too.
He's
got to be a 25-point scorer game.
Yeah, his best season as far as scoring was a couple years ago. He averaged 20 points a game.
Come on, Bam. The guy with the white hair has reason to be concerned.
White hair or silver hair?
Silver hair.
Silver hair, whatever.
Silver hair. Just not some way I would refer to Pat Riley if I still wanted to stay in Miami.
Well, see, you want to cut off your nose and spite your face if you're Pat Riley? You hear something like that, I got to get rid of Bam? Then what do you got? You got Tyler Hero and a cast of clowns.
Now I just got Bam, Tyler, to cast of clowns. I don't think I'm going very far either way.
They need to improve, but Bam is an important part of their team.
Well, Bam will be on the other side of the honest trade, maybe.
Yeah, but, if I'm Pat Riley, I go, hey, Bam, how about you score? What's preventing you from scoring in this league? All right, next.
All right, let's just enjoy Inside the NBA ripping apart the Heat. This was great. Halftime yesterday, them discussing what they had watched in a 40-point first-half deficit for the Heat.
This reminds me of a karate movie when a guy comes into the town and just starts beating everybody up. just like slapping people, pow, pow, just coming through there. This is what this looks like, man.
This might be the worst game I've ever watched.
Ernie, I try not to ever use the word quit or choke. Because you can see, and I'm not very seldom using. This is quitting at its finest right here. This I bet if we went to their house, all their stuff is already packed. Well, no, it's not packed. They live in Miami. No, you got to listen. They live in Miami. You lost by 38 the last game. You can't stay in Miami. You lost by 30 and you're down 40 at halftime.
You actually lost by 37.
Okay, my bad.
Game 3.
If you lose by 37, then come back and lose by 40, you can't stay in town. You know better.
He said in the karate movie, Steven Seagal, how many movies has he done? I defy you to come up with any scene in a Steven Seagal movie where he actually gets hit. He has never gotten hit in any of his movies. He has never taken a blow. He kicks everybody's ass, and they kick. I mean, you remember the one scene where the Asian guy had the pool stick, and he broke it in half, and he's using it, and still couldn't hit him. Still couldn't hit him with a pull cue.
When was the last time you watched a Steven Seagal?
I love Steven Seagal movies.
Under Siege? Wasn't that one of his?
Under Siege was when the girl jumped out of the cake.
Then Under Siege 2?
I didn't watch Under Siege 2. Tommy Lee Jones was in Under Siege 1.
But I can't tell you any other Seagal movie.
Oh, come on, man. The one where he was Gino. He was the Italian guy. Bobby Lupo got killed. Anybody know who killed Bobby Lupo?
I don't remember it.
No? Out for Justice?
Ray, do you even know who Steven Seagal is?
Not looking him up, I do.
You wouldn't have known who that was before, right?
Out for Justice.
I don't think he's been relevant
Out for Justice is one of those movies like Roadhouse and like Point Break where you watch it all the time. It's so campy, but he just beats the living crap out of everybody.
Yeah, I haven't seen a Seagal movie in a long time.
You got to see Out for Justice. You'll love it. He's an Italian in it.
That's all it takes.
All right. What else you got? You got post game,
Yeah, I
Ray?
got post game real quick.
If y'all had to show
138
highlights,
to 83.
if y'all had to show highlights, I'd have walked off this.
Miami, first team to ever lose back-to-back playoff games by at least 30.
If y'all had to show these highlights,
Wait, Chuck. If we didn't.
Ernie finally sick of Chuck.
Yeah.
Game so bad that Ernie finally got upset with Charles Barkley.
Oh, I love it.
But
that's
the
dude. What?
biggest ass whooping ever in a series.
What?
They beat him by a combined 122 points. Worst ever.
That franchise they need an overhaul somehow. They've got to add some players, man. Ever since Jimmy Buckets left. Oof.
And how about Jimmy Buckets?
Came back last night.
And he was jawing with that punk. Dylan. Not our Dylan. 610-632-0975 is how you get in. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Andrew Salciunas.
I'm not moving to the outfield.
featuring Steven Seagal. Gino Felino is his name. He's looking for a psychotic guy named Richie. And he goes to a bar run by Richie's brother, Vinny Madano. Vinny and all his friends refuse to provide information, so Gino beats up a number of them. Later on, following a tip from his local snitch, Piccolino, Gino eventually finds Richie in a house in the old neighborhood having a party. Gino kills or wounds all of Richie's men. Gino then fights Richie, fights him hand-to-hand. After beating Richie senseless, Gino finally kills him by stabbing him in the forehead with a corkscrew. The mobsters arrive soon after, and intent on killing Richie, Gino uses the lead mobster's gun to shoot the already dead Richie several times. It's classic.
This is worth watching.
I'm telling you, this is one of the great, gleeful, campy, bad movies of all time.
All right, one more time. What's it called?
Out for Justice.
Out for Justice.
Gino Felino. And the crazy Richie, the guy he's after, his father is Uncle June.
Is it?
How about that? For good measure.
I'll have to find this movie. Ray, I wouldn't put this at the top of your. You got a lot of other movies you got to watch.
Yeah, Ray.
First.
But you're Ray. I'm telling you, you would laugh at this movie. It is so campy. But I'm telling you, he's done like, I don't know how many, 6 movies.
No.
They're all kind of themed like this.
He's done a ton of movies.
But the Out for Justice and there are just a series of movies where he does one with Kelly LeBrock where he's supposedly in a coma for 3 years.
Well, there was, I don't know what movie
what's
that was.
That one called?
He had in late
Marked
80s, early 90s, he had a bunch like Above the Law, Hard to Kill, Marked for Death.
Hard to Kill.
Yeah.
Because he was in a coma. They couldn't kill him. They thought they killed him.
Out for Justice, Under Siege. But then I think now his movies are just.
I'm talking about in the heyday. Like, in the heyday of Clint Eastwood, you had that series of movies. In the heyday of Steven.
I got to go back and watch, but I just went to his Wikipedia page, and I went to the section for awards and nominations. Listen to the things he's been awarded for. Worst actor, worst picture, worst director, worst supporting actor, worst screen couple, worst original song, and worst actor.
This is bad. This is very
That was all of his nominations.
He goes into that pool hall. He beats like 8 guys up, and finally they get the last resort is the Asian guy. Go ahead, Sticks. And Sticks breaks a pool cue in half and starts waving it around. He still didn't hit him.
Yeah, I got to.
I'm telling you, there's a chat board talking about Steven Seagal. I'm telling you, got to put that. There's a list. The Last Boy Scout, Roadhouse, Point Break, Out for Justice, and you got to add one more to the top 5. And I can't think of it now.
What, another campy movie?
Another campy, but watchable movie. Every time it's on, you keep watching it. It's like a toothache when you keep trying to press on it.
Yeah, now Roadhouse definitely.
I'm telling you, there are series that came out. I watch them every single time. Oh, I go Out for Justice is on. Hey, anybody know who killed Bobby Lupo? It's hysterical.
Would you be shocked to know that I've seen The Last Boy Scout?
You have seen The Last Boy Scout? Tell me I'm not lying. It is the stupidest, campy, but enjoyable movie to watch ever.
Yes. Most certainly. Absolutely. Watched it, was like, wow.
Last Boy Scout's Bruce Willis and Wayans, right? Yeah. I've seen that.
Mm-hmm.
And Shelley Marcone was the villain.
That movie was the first time I ever got on the air here.
Really?
I was training him. Anthony brought it up, and I went and watched it.
Anthony and I used to talk about these movies all the time. Man.
So you talked about Uncle June.
Yeah.
So my old high school football coach texted me, not only saying that Uncle June is Johnny Ola, he says Ola was Hyman Roth's boy who befriended Fredo. Is that true?
Well, in the retrospective of The Godfather, Hyman Roth was a boyhood friend of them.
Gotcha.
So that's how Hyman Roth's name was first in.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what
The Godfather Coda, I think, where they
do all that.
They add scenes and stuff.
How do we get on Steven Seagal?
I don't know.
Where did that come from? Where did Steven Seagal come from?
Steven Seagal, that's a good question. Because we had the Inside the NBA halftime where mentioned Kenny mentioned the karate movies.
The karate movie.
There we go.
Now, see, I don't
There's
like
always a
a
way
Chuck Norris movie, and I don't like a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie, but I'll watch Steven Seagal until the cows come home, man.
Jean-Claude Van Damme, when I was a kid, kickboxer, Naksu Cow. That was a great movie, dude.
I didn't.
When they put their hands in the glass with the tape.
I wasn't into those as much as I was into.
Oh, Kickboxer was awesome movie, man. When he gets him drunk and makes him dance at the bar. Also, Bloodsport, great movie with Jean-Claude Van Damme. What was remember he plays twin Jean-Claude Van Damme? I forget what that one was called.
Yeah,
double something.
But in Under Siege, the girl that jumps out of the cake is one of the most unknown beauties of our time.
I can't remember.
Her name is Erica Eleniak. She was a Playmate of the Year.
I got to go and watch.
You got to check out Erica Eleniak back in the day.
Okay, Erica Eleniak. I'll look it up.
Look.
But you weren't a Jean-Claude Van Damme guy.
Nah.
He was a lot better than Seagal.
The accent kind of threw me off. I didn't think I was rooting for an American karate guy.
Wait, what was the movie?
Chuck Norris was too serious. Seagal at least had a little... like the campiness of a Seagal movie you can't beat. 610-632-0975. The Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Phillies return to action tonight. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies open up a 3-game series tonight with the Nationals at Citizens Bank Park. Nationals won 6 of their last 10, though they did get crushed by the Mets yesterday. Phillies coming off a series win over the Cubs in Wrigley over the weekend. The matchup on the mound between Zach Wheeler and Mackenzie Gore. A rematch of the opening day game between these two sides. First pitch tonight is at 6:45. In the Eagles world, the team now has put the draft and the White House visit in the rearview. Ahead of them, a few big decisions, including whether to move on from tight end Dallas Goddard, whether to pick up defensive tackle Jordan Davis's fifth-year option on his rookie contract. The Inquirer's Jeff McClain joined Kincade and Salciunas this morning and said he expects the Eagles to pick up that option.
The reason why this is going down the wires, are probably trying to work out something to lower that number, right? Another extension, maybe something that would not force them to pay. I think around $13 million. But I think if they can't get something done, I imagine they're going to pick it up.
We'll keep you updated with whatever they decide to do with Jordan Davis. This update is brought to you by Dairy Queen. Get big summer flavor in every bite with the new DQ Summer Blizzard Treat menu featuring new mixing bowl mashups, s'mores, and more. Available now. DQ, happy tastes good at participating locations. I'm Ray Dunn, your home for the coverage of the truest championship, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
I'm going to keep coming back until somebody remembers seeing Bobby Lupo. You got to see it, man. You got to see it. Out for Justice.
You asked for some other campy movies.
Yeah.
So people are weighing in the YouTube chat, and some of these are hitting home because I loved them as a kid. Passenger 57 with Wesley Snipes. Did you ever see that one?
Yeah.
That was a good one. The other one was, I just missed it. Where was the one? I just missed it. And it was a great movie. Running Man with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Remember that movie?
Yeah.
Richard Dawson plays the game show host.
Yeah. I don't know. It's semi-serious. It's out of the realm of campy.
So, what were you into the Arnold movies back in the day? Because they were a little campy. Running Man, Commando. What were some of
Commando, I liked a little bit.
Obviously, Predator was a big one.
Yeah.
That was a good one, though. Predator was a good one.
Predator was pretty good. All right, so this topic that Ray is fascinated with, along with the rest of the world, by the way. Pat McAfee was talking about this, I think, on his show.
Dude, I couldn't stop. I went down rabbit holes last night doing research on this. I was reading, like, AI articles. Ray, I think I tagged you in one of them.
All right, Ray, explain this whole concept about the 100 men versus one gorilla.
Yeah, the internet's had a lot of fun with this one. I just saw this on my timeline all weekend long, that people are debating whether or not 100 men could defeat one gorilla. Unarmed, to be clear. 100 unarmed men versus one gorilla. Who wins in the battle?
Again, my mind goes to, like, how could 100 get at the gorilla at the same time? It would take the power of 100 men, but it would be a concentrated power, and with 100 men, you couldn't concentrate enough power on one gorilla.
So you're going down the right path here because I've done way too much research on this and way too much thought and analysis into it. The gorilla would 100% win because all 100 men can't get on him at the same time.
Right.
But the bigger thing is if you're unarmed, there's no way that we would be able to kill the gorilla. There's nothing that we could do to the gorilla to kill it.
You could punch him in the head with enough force of 100 men, but 100 men you couldn't get a punch with the force of 100
But you wouldn't be able to do that. It would be how many men? Maybe 3 or 4 at the same time. But his skull is so thick and that he would be able to, the power in which he could swing and his bite alone, he would kill everybody. There's no way that 100 unarmed men would be able to hurt the gorilla enough to win.
You got to have enough body blows. You have to go to their body.
It would never happen.
You have to bruise them up. You got to bruise the ribs. You got to hit them in the kidneys. You drop them that way. But 100 men, the force of 100 men could not get on them.
No, you wouldn't be able to. So maybe like 5 or 6 at a time? Maybe?
He'd swat 5 or 6. Boom. All right, next 5 or 6. You know what I'm saying? You couldn't get enough of a collection of power against the gorilla. What are most people saying here, Ray?
I've seen it split. Honestly.
You think 100 men could beat a gorilla?
I don't, but I've seen it split. I think that the gorilla wins 100 times out of 100.
I agree with you.
And I also don't know how many, men. I mean, I guess people think that they would win, but how many people are going to be on the front lines of that one? Like, it's one thing to be man number 57 in this one, when maybe the gorilla's a little bit tired and the gorilla's been dealing with us. But to be man number 1 that's attacking the gorilla, who signs up for that?
No, you're getting sacrificed at that point.
Well, yeah, you are getting, but who's signing up for that?
Ray brought up an interesting point. Maybe the 50, like the picadillos in bullfights, maybe the first concentration of 50 men tenderize the gorilla, tire him out, then the next 50 come along, and bang, they got a shot.
You wouldn't be able to. Just listen to some of these facts, all right? A silverback gorilla can lift up to 1,800 pounds. It can run 25 miles per hour. It has a bite force of 1,300 PSI. It can charge fast.
1,300 PSI.
I don't know. It sounds good, though. It has enough to crush bones with its bite.
Okay.
One swing of its arm could kill a man instantly. They're agile, tough. They can charge fast, dodge attacks. But here's the thing. Their thick skull and bones make them hard to injure. There's no way we'd be able to injure him without a weapon.
Strategy. Can you use any kind of instruments, Ray?
No. It's unarmed.
No instruments.
No.
Now, could you have enough force to pop out his teeth to take care of the bite thing? Mm-hmm. You go for the teeth first.
So I want to go strategy here in a different way. Are we going to go with the strongest men first to tire the gorilla out, or are you going to end up using the strongest men towards the back of the group to try and finish the job?
Excellent question.
But Ray, even the strongest man isn't going to even come close to how strong this gorilla is. Like, our strongest man in the world, I don't think is even going to hurt the gorilla at all.
I think the bottom line is the men must be coached by Nick Serriani.
That's true.
There it is.
They get
dog mentality.
Right, dog mentality. The gorilla mentality.
The dog mentality. You forget about your friends that just got crushed with one swing and just keep going.
All right, let's get to the fun.
Could 100 Bills do this?
No. I would be destroyed. But listen, this is why I don't understand.
This is a landmark. He just admitted he can't do something. Are you kidding me? He can't beat a gorilla? What? Come on, Bill. All that pumping iron, all those Kind bars and protein shakes.
Oh,
what good are you?
Someone just tagged me. Andrew, though, said Dan Campbell could do it.
You're damn right he could.
Dan Campbell, we biting his ankles.
He'd be snarling against that thing.
But I am surprised it just went viral because I think it is such a clear-cut answer that there's no chance that it would happen. Like, how did this even become debatable?
I don't even know. It's weird.
Because there's a lot of irrational people.
Well, you know what? The conversation that was kind of realistic was the Masters conversation. If you started every hole on the putting green,
yes,
would you have a chance to win the match? I mean, you could make an argument that maybe you could. But 100 man versus a gorilla logistically is impossible because you can't get the power. You can't get the horsepower to beat the gorilla. Well, you know, if you could tape together 100 men and have the force of 100 men, maybe you got a shot.
Yeah, but that's not the. You're right, but that's not how it would be.
No,
you would maybe get 4 or 5 at a time would be able to get at it.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, never gonna happen.
Unless you go for testicle. How about the testicle shot?
Someone just said that. Someone just said go for the
You
general.
got a testicle shot. You got a kick. You get 5 guys, or the force of all their kicks in synchronicity. Bam!
Yeah, but all that would do would maybe bring the gorilla to the ground. How are you hurting
well,
the
then
gorilla?
the 100 men jump on him. Bang, 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 bang.
Those 5
He's
or 6.
incapacitated.
Those 5 or 6 that kick do not survive. That gorilla's killing those 5 or 6.
No. Because the gorilla's got his hands up, not expecting the testicle shot. You know, you catch him off guard.
I'm telling you,
one person
those 5 or 6 are dead. You are one of the ones that are doing that. I can assure you, who will not survive that attack.
All right, well, you got to sacrifice one for the sake of many others.
But I think the only way you would be able to kill the gorilla would be probably to choke it out. So, because you're not going to be, you don't have enough force to
beat it up.
So you're going to have to probably cut off its air supply. So the way you would have to do that. So maybe Mike's onto something. Someone goes for the genital area.
Shot.
Another person gouges the eyes, and now it can't see and it's disoriented. And then I come around and put him in the.
Hold on a second.
Now, of course, this comes back to you.
Do we know that the same reaction would be a testicle shot to a gorilla as it is a human being?
I would think so.
We don't know that.
You don't know that, but I would think so. But even if it only hurt one fraction of what it hurts a man, I think he's still going to the ground.
Suppose it was a female gorilla.
Well, that's not what the question is, right? It's a male gorilla.
It's a male gorilla?
I don't know if we were
it's
ever gender specific on that
I don't know if we
We're
were
not gender specific. You got a shot with the male, not the female. Female will tear your ass up, just like this girl's tearing Bill Belichick up. See what I did there? Bubbo! 610-632-0975. We got Andy and Frazier. He's up next. Stay tuned.
Philadelphia Union Soccer.
Clock Hour is brought to you by Service First HVAC, offering 0% financing for 48 months, rebates and tax credits up to $4,300 when purchasing a heating and cooling system. Learn more at ServiceFirstHVAC.com. A little later in the program, we are going to play you a new song that was tracked by our guy who, back in the day, did what song for us, Bill?
Yes, this is coming from David, who remixed Serriani Love.
Serriani Love remixer David.
So he emailed me over the weekend that because of all the love we gave him on the Serriani Love remix, he wanted to do a rendition of Hold Me Closer, Robbie Thompson.
And that would have been in my honor.
In your honor.
Love Rob Thompson.
Since you love Rob Thompson.
Yeah.
But I've listened to it, and he's talented. He is very talented. We are not in it, though. You and I are not in it.
We're not in it, but we have another song that we're playing, correct?
We are inspired. We are the inspiration. What do you mean?
We're doing the rap song. Did you just
yeah, but you and I aren't in that song, I'm saying.
Oh, we're not?
This is him.
Well,
we were the inspiration for it.
Okay, well, that's fine. We'll play the rap.
Correct.
So we're not playing Hold Me Closer, Robbie Thompson.
No, but that's what he's calling the song.
Oh, he's calling this rap song.
Correct.
Hold Me Closer. So it's not the Elton John song.
It is not. His rap song that he made is called Hold Me Closer, Robbie Thompson.
Oh, okay.
And we inspired it because of how much you love Rob Thompson.
All right. Sounds good. So we'll play that a little later in the program. Meantime, let's get back to the phones, and you can climb in at 610-632-0975. And when you do, and you have a salient point, we're going to ask you a quick golf question, which are really easy golf questions, and you will qualify for, at the end of the show, for a random drawing of two championship grounds tickets to the PGA Championship 2026 at Aronimink in Newtown Square, which includes free food and beverage.
Yeah, pretty awesome.
That's the Sunday outing as well. So the final round tickets. That's a pretty good cash prize.
Yeah, for a major?
It really
is. For a
is.
golf major? You can't beat that.
All right, let's go to Alex in Bethlehem. Alex, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. It's Andy from Fraser. I'm sorry. It's Andy from Fraser. That was my mistake. Go ahead, Andy.
Hey, Mikey Miss, how you doing today?
Good. How you doing?
Good. First of all, weigh in, but just so you know, back to your previous point, Hyman Roth always makes money for his partners.
He did.
One of the best lines.
He did, but then he did. But then he didn't. The snake.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
So look, I couldn't agree with you more on this Belichick thing. Who cares if he wants to go around with a 24-year-old arm candy, or if he needs visual stimulation? Good for him. The only people that should be worried about this is, like you said before, if it's in the will, or the will might get changed, or you're a beneficiary and you're worried about that, well, then I get it. And Bill, to your point about the only other person would be the athletic director at UNC if she starts messing with the program or puts out bad stuff about the players, not doing this or that. I understand that, but other than that, let him live his life. My God, he's 74 years old. Leave him alone.
Bill's very upset about this. Bill feels it's emasculating men all over the world.
Well, let me ask you something, Andy, real quick. When you say let him live his life, but we're not the ones who are doing interviews where it's being broadcast on CBS Morning News of her interrupting interviews. Like, we're being forced to watch her, aren't we? It's not like we're going out of our way.
Who cares?
We're not going out of our way.
Who cares what she's doing?
Exactly.
It's in a public national interview.
That's his problem. If it embarrasses him, that's his problem. Not embarrassing me.
And look, we're getting what info from TMZ that she was interrupting about football matters.
Listen, let's be clear. I'm sure she was. I'm sure she's that type of girl. But even if she is, okay, that's his problem. If he feels at the end of that interview that she embarrassed the crap out of him, he's got two choices. He's got one, you're done, or I don't care, let's live happily ever after. There are two choices.
The football issue could be, what's the name of the stadium in North Carolina, or what's a Tar Heel? He might not know any of that, and she's interrupting him. You really think if she is interrupting him on football questions?
She might be. I don't know. She might be doing all of that. My point is, that's his problem.
Exactly. I agree 100%. And Bill, just before I get cut off here, as far as I'm the one who seconded your choice about flying fishbone in Aruba.
Oh, that's such a good spot, man.
There you go.
Yeah, that was a great
All right,
spot.
well, so hold on, Andy. I got to give you a golf question now because I want to see you qualify.
You got it.
In golf, what type of clothing are +4s?
Payne Stewart.
Well, what type of clothing are they?
Well, that would be the knickers.
Correct.
With the high socks.
There you go. You got the knickers, the +4s. There he is. A qualifier. My man Andy from Fraser qualifies for the golf.
So he's how many qualifiers do we have right now? Only one?
He is the qualifier so far.
He's the only qualifier?
That's what I think everyone else got all the questions wrong.
Really? No. Somebody got one right. Nobody got one right?
No, I don't think so.
All wrong so far.
Get out. Well, it's wide open then. These are easy questions.
Hold on, I got more on this Belichick stuff. So I'm researching more about
All
it.
right, go ahead.
So apparently, insiders who are close to Bill Belichick have been shaking their heads. One insider told the New York Post they are talking to him about her, but very gently because they know how deep in he is.
He just repeated the same quote that I repeated earlier today.
Hold on. No, I'm going more.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm going more.
Uh-huh.
She saw an opening and she took it. She's a runaway train.
I read the same thing.
Did he read that already?
What the hell is going
but behind the scenes here, before Mike loses his mind, I'm actually going to save you for a few seconds.
When
here,
did
Bill.
he say runaway train?
I'm going to save you for a second here, Bill. I'm going to save you here. Okay, just behind the scenes for everyone listening, because it's not just that Mike said this 2 hours ago on the air or an hour ago, whenever we started this conversation. This was actually something Mike, before the show, said to a group of people that jump-started a conversation
while
about
you were
Bill
there.
Belichick
While you were there.
he was
While you
sitting
were
there.
right there.
I don't remember you citing the runaway train.
I said it twice. On the air and off the air.
All right, off the air, I'm not sitting that close to you. On the air,
you hear
I don't
every
remember
word
you
I
saying.
say when we're in the.
I know, but I'm always doing my research and reading and stuff. I don't remember you saying the runaway train part.
Because you don't pay attention. You only pay attention when you feel it's necessary.
What's that?
You are in.
What'd you say?
You are in a oblivious world half the time when I'm talking.
I remember.
You are obsessed with your little researches and your little chat board, and you don't even know what I'm saying half the time.
I do not remember you using the words runaway train. I mean, I agree that you
Not only
did.
did I read it, I read it dramatically because it's from a story in the New York Post.
Honestly, I don't know how you engaged back and forth with him without hearing the runaway train comment. That was a big piece of the entire conversation, the entire back and forth.
I embellished it. I said, and get this, like a runaway train. Right? That's the way I said it.
Yeah, that's probably why I
Bill
didn't
was
hear it.
oblivious to it.
That's probably why I didn't hear it.
This is when I tell you it's exhausting to agree with you. This is what I mean. Because it's moments like this where even when I'm on your side for a cause, you make it difficult to be on your side.
In my defense, this has not happened for a long time. This has not happened for a long time where Mike said something that I didn't hear.
Hold on, Mike. I got some new information on this Bill Belichick.
Well, it's because it's a new article.
His friends think she's a runaway train.
It's because I just saw it posted on Twitter like 4 minutes ago.
But Mike posted on Mike World. You don't understand. It's got to be posted on Twitter for you to actually hear it.
Wait, guys. There's this article in The Athletic today about Nick Seriani and his leadership, and maybe we judged him wrong.
Well, I don't know if you knew this. They use the halo horns effect.
Oh, my goodness.
As you're going on telling this story, I'm looking at Raglan. Is he really going to do this? Is he really going to repeat the same thing?
Well,
I was floored.
I said it 2 hours ago.
So speaking of floored,
he's completely oblivious to any word that comes out of my mouth.
Speaking of
the Phillies won 3-1 on Sunday, in case you're wondering.
Speaking of floored, Mike has now drawn the ire of our YouTube chat.
What did I do?
Because you said I was distracted because of our little chat board.
Your little chat board.
And they are furious
your
with
little
you.
chat board.
The chat board's coming
I'll tell you
at
what,
you.
tomorrow we'll do the Mike Missanelli show, but it's just Bill's chat board. We'll just do that. How about that?
That'd be a great show. I love our chat board.
610-632-0975. Back after this.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Phillies return to action tonight. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies open up a 3-game series tonight with the Nationals at Citizens Bank Park. The Nationals have won 6 of their last 10, but did get crushed yesterday by the Mets. Phillies coming off that series win over the Cubs over the weekend in Wrigley. Matchup on the mound will be between Zach Wheeler and Mackenzie Gore. Rematch of opening day between these two sides. First pitch tonight is at 6:45. In Eagles world, the team has now put the draft and the White House visit in the rearview. Ahead of them, a few big decisions on whether to move on from tight end Dallas Goddard, or whether to pick up defensive tackle Jordan Davis' 5th-year option on his rookie contract. The Enquirer's Jeff McClain joined Kincade and Salciunas this morning, said he expects the Eagles to pick up that option.
The reason why this is going down the wires, are probably trying to work out something to lower that number, right? Another extension, maybe, something that would not force them to pay. I think, what is it, around $13 million? But I think if they can't get something done, I imagine they're going to pick it up.
We'll keep you updated on whether or not they pick up that option. This update is brought to you by True Green. True Green, get a golf course quality lawn for less than you think. Sign up at truegreen.com. That's TRUgreen.com. True Green, the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour. I'm Ray Dunn, your home for Truist Championship coverage. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Fanatics. Mike Missanelli Show, 97.5 The Fanatic. So interestingly enough, Jalen Hurts did not go to the White House ceremony yesterday, but Saquon Barkley was all about it. So I got a text just now from actually several texts. Do you think this could fragment the relationship between the players? I don't have a list of who went and who didn't go. I know Big Dom was shouted out the whole bit, right?
Yeah. Big Dom was the first
He was the
person
first
called
one
up to the
shouted out.
podium.
Now, I will say this about Saquon. I thought what Jalen said by saying he had a scheduling conflict, I said it yesterday, I think it was weak. I think if you believe in something, you have a right to say it, and you should say it. And for better or worse, what Saquon did was he endorsed Trump. So he actually endorsed him. Jalen ran away from it. Now, the way I look at it, Saquon is a guy who's probably too smart to be intoxicated, but he did get intoxicated by the lure of a golf broship.
Yeah, he is a big golfer, Saquon. We know that.
He got intoxicated by a golf broship, basically.
But to the original question, I don't think this is going to fracture the Eagles' locker room.
No, it probably won't. It probably won't.
But there are people concerned about it.
If Jalen felt that strongly about it, I don't think that Jalen can just hide behind the fact that he had a scheduling conflict, which is bogus.
Now, in Jalen's defense, I don't believe it was Jalen who put out that he had a scheduling conflict. I think that came from the White House. He hasn't said anything about it.
It's his PR staff that's orchestrating that whole thing. I get it. He doesn't want to be on one side or the other because he wants to play the political I'm right down the middle situation, but clearly he's not. So I think when clearly you're not, you probably should have the courage to step out. I don't know. That's the way I look at it. If you feel strongly about a certain thing, step out.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see if we will get any comment from Jalen. Probably not. And we'll move on, and everyone will hopefully forget about this, and it won't be an issue for the team. I don't think it's going to be an issue for the team. I mean, look, they dealt with this, not this exactly, but the year they won the Super Bowl, there was a lot of controversy that year. That was the 2017 season.
Yeah, and the leader at that time was a very strong-minded guy politically.
Malcolm Jenkins.
Yes, and his influence had a lot of weight in that locker room then.
But I'm sure that there were people in that locker room that maybe didn't necessarily agree with everything that Malcolm Jenkins was pushing, but they were fine. They still won the Super Bowl. So I think they could get past all this.
And those people were going to go until the invitation was rescinded. So, yeah, I'm sure there are players on both sides of the political realm here. Saquon stepped down on it. Saquon, it didn't bother Saquon to be associated with Trump. It bothered Jalen Hurts. And he hid behind this scheduling conflict. There's two different personalities there. One endorsed it, one didn't.
Yeah, I think Saquon had came out and he's trying to defend it, saying he didn't endorse, that it was just, I respect the position.
But it was a golf broship. They won him over.
Yeah, they went golfing.
Yeah, he's intoxicated by golf, Saquon. All right, it's the Mike Missanelli Show. It's 1 o'clock, and you are listening to 97.5 The Fanatic, WPEN HD1, Burlington, Philadelphia, a Beasley media station broadcasting from the Comcast Business Studios, powering possibilities. All right, who do we have, Ray? Start the 1 o'clock hour. We have Lee from Elkton, Maryland. Beautiful Elkton, Maryland down there. Lee, you start the 1 o'clock hour. Go ahead. Yo, Lee.
Hello.
Hello, Lee.
What's up?
How you doing?
How you feeling?
I'm feeling good.
Yeah, me too, man. I feel good about the whole ordeal. I think that Jalen and AJ need to talk more often. You know, I think they got to work that out before they even went there. As far as
wait. AJ and Jalen. What about AJ and Jalen?
I think they need to communicate.
What's AJ have to do with anything?
Like
where is it? We were talking about Saquon, not AJ.
Oh, I meant Saquon. I'm sorry.
Oh, all right. All right, go ahead.
I think Saquon.
Well,
Seems like it's a little, it's a little miscommunication there between them two.
Well, it's not a miscommunication. It's like one decided to do one thing, one decided to do the other thing. They don't have to be in sync.
Right.
Why do they have to be in sync?
Because he about the only one that didn't make it.
No, I don't know who didn't make it. I don't think it was a full team that went.
Yeah, but it looked good. I mean, I don't have no complaints with none of that. What I did look at was I thought Howie was a little bit shy on his I don't think he was as aggressive as he usually is, and I thought they should have picked up a tight end, like a hybrid type tight end. You know what I mean? I mean, there's plenty of them out there.
All right, so Weave, you just switched the conversation here. Now you're going to analyze you're going to analyze the draft now on me. All right. So you thought he should have picked up a tight end. I agree with you. I thought he should have picked up a tight end as well. Yep.
And I mean, Goddard, he's not that physical. Ertz wasn't that physical. You know what I mean?
Yeah, tight ends these days aren't.
If you hit them,
there's only a few tight ends that are really physical. I mean, is Kelsey physical? I don't know.
He's gone? He's gone. All right, he's gone. Yeah, I wasn't sure where he was going at the beginning.
No. AJ, what did AJ do recently?
Yeah, we haven't heard from AJ too much.
All right, you want to play the song?
Oh, you want to play this song
do
now?
We have it?
So I gave it to Ray yesterday. So again, this is the same guy who remixed Serriani Love.
What's his name again?
His name is Dave.
Dave.
And he wanted to do a song about your love for Rob Thompson.
My love for Rob Thompson, which has been overplayed. But that's all right. I get it. You need to have something to come back at me with.
I didn't come back. This is this guy's song, not mine.
All right, let's play this. I like it. I get a little preview of it. I like it. We'll see if people give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down on Bill's beloved chat board. So let's see what we got right. Kick it.
Robbie on the field, clipboard in his grip. Dreams of World Series, no championship trip. Calls the plays, but the players just trip. Sweat on his brow, losing balance on his ship. Hold me closer, Robbie Thompson. Swinging big, but the hits ain't constant. Game on the line, heart straight thumping. Still got love for the diamond, no frontin'. Bases loaded, his nerves in a swirl. Signal to the pitcher, curveball unfurl. Strike out again, yeah, it's a cruel world. Still giving pep talks to the boys and the girls. Yo, hold me closer, Robbie Thompson. Swinging big, but the hits ain't constant. Game on the line, heart straight thumping. Still got love for the diamond, no front. Hold me closer, Robbie Thompson. Swinging big, but the hits.
I like it, and a lot of people out there going, swinging what?
Swinging big.
Swinging big, and not the other thing.
Yeah, so his name's Dave, but yet on his email it comes up as Malibu. I don't know if that's his rap name.
No championship trip.
Yeah.
I heard early on.
Sweat on his brow.
It was very critical of Robbie.
Yeah, I think it was critical. I don't know. What do you like better, that or Hold Me Closer, Robbie Thompson? Ray?
I like this one.
Yeah, I like this one. Anything that I can
I like that one.
not have
I
you
like
sing.
that one
I like
better
the way
too.
he mixes. He's a good mixer.
He is good.
Yeah.
Because he even made our Seriani Love sound somewhat, I don't want to say good, but somewhat professional.
Let's hear that early mix again where he comes in musically starts it musically, right? Here we go. There you go. I like that.
Robbie on the field, clipboard in his grip. Dreams of World Series, no championship trip.
No championship trip. Dreams of World Series, no championship trip.
No championship trip. Well, as we talk about Robbie Thompson, we're going to have to figure out what is he going to do today. There's a lefty on the mound, Mike.
Well, that means Trey Turner will be your leadoff hitter.
And then who's in left field? Is it my man Dub Dub?
Of course.
You don't let Max
Why
Kepler?
do you think they activated Dub Dub? They need pop in left field.
Love it.
You don't want Max Kepler to go again?
No, not against the lefty. Listen, you got a chance to play Sosa and Weston Wilson. You're going to play him. That's what he's done.
So Sosa's in for Stott.
He's really kind of transparent with his actions.
He has been, yeah. So you got Sosa in for Stott.
Yes.
You'll have Dub Dubs in left field for Kepler.
No question about it.
And you'll have Trey Turner leading off, which allows What, you'll go Turner, Harper? Is Harper the 2-hole today?
Bohm?
I don't know. Bohm's been hitting
Who's been the 3-hitter when he's had him in there?
They haven't faced a lefty in a while, right?
Turner, Harper, Schwarber, Castellanos.
So it's been Schwarber in the 3-hole?
Yeah. Behind
and then Castellanos as your cleanup hitter?
That's what he's been doing against lefties. But it's been a while since they went up against a left-handed pitcher, isn't it?
They saw one last week at some point. It was the Mets' last game of the series. Was that when they saw
They
him?
got the all right-handed hitting lineup in there, except for Harp
and Schwartz.
And Schwartz, right, is the DH.
Yeah, so you got
position play, except for Harp.
Even your boy Rojas is a righty.
Rojas,
JT behind the plate.
WW,
Dub. You think Dub goes yard today, Ray?
Yeah.
It is Dinger Tuesday on FanDuel.
I will take 5 on each you that he doesn't go yard.
And we get odds.
Yeah, we got to get odds.
What do you mean you got to get odds?
That's how you make a home run.
You just made the. You said he said Dub's going to go long today. Yeah. What do you now? You need odds. What?
Because that's how you make a home run bet.
Yeah, like you can't just taking no. Of course, it's more likely.
Hit a home run.
Of course, it's more likely he doesn't hit one.
Schwarber's like plus 450 on days like today. Tell me, go 1 for 1 with Weston Wilson.
2 for 1.
Yeah, well, I'll negotiate.
I'm going to look up what the odds are for Dubs to hit a home run today.
610-632-0975. The golf tickets are still in play. Your calls at 610-632-0975. See if we can get any.
We want to hear from you. So text us at 610-632-0975.
A little early, we just talked about this Saquon thing. Jalen Hurts not going. Marcus Hayes had a very provocative column on this today. I don't know if you've seen it, Bill, in the Philadelphia Inquirer today.
I did see it.
You did see it. Now, Marcus Hayes is a black man, and it's clear he's not a fan of Trump. So he talks about Saquon golfing with Trump in advance of the team visit on Monday. Where'd they golf? Well,
I believe they golfed at Trump's course in Bedminster, as I thought was where they did.
Anyway, he says, blah, blah, blah. I sighed, I rolled my eyes. I scrolled on, knowing inevitably that Barkley's choice to implicitly endorse and validate the person and presidency of a convicted felon whose overt associations with and endorsements of racism, especially racism directed at black people, could result in months, if not years, of Barkley being cast as the latest Kanye West or Mike Tyson or Antonio Brown, shameless or perhaps clueless Trump surrogates used by him and his minions as props to justify unconscionable policies and practices. Hopefully, Barkley can withstand this firestorm. Is it to that extent?
I mean, look, if you read social media, there's people from both sides angry at Saquon, angry at Jalen, and all that, but I think it'll all pass. Look, there were a lot of people upset, again, going back to the whole 2017 season with things that were happening, and everyone recovered from that. I mean, outside of Colin Kaepernick, who was on a different level with all this stuff, but
It looks like Marcus is really taking a shot at Saquon here.
I know, but it is also.
He said he refused to acknowledge the political ramifications of his actions. There's going to be support and non-support on both sides here. It's probably equal. He equated golfing with former President Barack Obama with visiting Trump, but he ignored the attack the Trump administration has waged on black history. So there are people on both sides. How it will affect the team? I think Barkley is certainly a popular enough player where you can almost look at him as being apolitical. You know? Like he's not on one side or the other, but he's a good teammate, and that's the essential element of what Saquon Barkley is.
Yeah, and when you say, "Are we gonna?" It's like he's gonna be able to recover from it. You mean with the fan base or with
the team inside the team structure? I think is what he's saying, or I don't know, maybe the fan base, but the fan base is split on that anyway.
Yeah, and I think with the team, I think they're going to be fine. And the caller earlier was like, Saquon and Jalen need to talk and get on the same page. Like, how do we know they didn't? Why are we assuming they didn't talk?
I don't know that they have to be on the same page at all when it comes to political things. They have to be on the same page with the playbook. Like, when you're in the huddle, like, this stuff has nothing to do with you playing football. Now, if you don't want to be friends with Saquon because of that, that's fine. You don't have to be his friend. There are a lot of teammates that haven't been friends. They just play together.
Yeah, but I also don't, and I don't know their relationship, but I don't think one of them going to the White House and the other one not is going to make them not friends. Like I think fans and social media is creating that narrative. Like, I don't think that now Jalen Hurts isn't going to be friends with Saquon Barkley and vice versa, or any of the other people who were there who weren't there. I think that
that depends how strongly Jalen feels about this. If he feels strongly, he doesn't have to hang out with Saquon. If they don't have the same political ideologies, he could just be his teammate. That's fine. You're not going to discuss this kind of stuff in the locker room anyway.
Yeah, but I think that this is more like social media driven. I guarantee everybody on that team isn't looking at one another of who went and who didn't and having any problem with each other.
All right, let's go to text board. We got any text, Ray, that are any pertinence on the pertinent stuff we talked about today?
Oh, pertinent stuff.
Yeah, pertinent stuff.
Yeah, what about the Eagles talk? Anything?
I was gonna say there was a lot of gorilla argument.
Oh, the gorilla argument. Okay, well, let's get to the gorilla argument.
Before he gives you that, there's a Twitter handle now that is just gorilla, and there's a picture of a gorilla, and his tweet was, "I'm angered by this conversation."
That's funny.
We got someone that said, "Please tell Bill, gorillas have no stamina. After the first 20 men or so, they would probably stomp him to death." So they're going with the men on this side. I'm telling you, there is a lot of people. We all agree.
Wait,
there's no way you could beat the gorilla. There's a lot of people that believe that the men would be able to overpower the gorilla.
The gorilla has no stamina, but it would still stomp you to death? Is that what this?
No, it's saying that after the first 20 men or so, then the men would take over and stomp the gorilla to death. Yes.
What do you think of that, Bill? So how do we know a gorilla has no stamina? Is that scientifically proven?
I don't know that.
The thing is when you're talking about stamina, it's all relative, though. Like, for that gorilla to swing his arm and kill 5 men with one swing, is that really tiring him out? Like, maybe 100 other gorillas would wear him down, but not 100 of us.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, what kind of stamina are we talking about here? I don't think a gorilla has a lack of stamina where, like, if 20 men try to attack the gorilla at first, he's going to wear him out with body punches, you know? You're not going to get the body punches in, right? What's the gorilla saying about this? What's the gorilla Twitter handle saying about this?
I got to look it up. The YouTube chat, our little chat is funny.
What's the little chat saying here, Bill?
Someone saying that the gorilla would definitely be gassed and tired. Another one said to just have John Kincade talk to it.
Oh,
come on, man. What are you going after John for? He's not even here. Come on. Our YouTube chat's ruthless.
What does that mean exactly?
He said,
what does that mean?
He said, yeah, have John Kincade talk to it. It'll fall asleep. And then we begin. They're going after John. If John's listening.
That's one of our colleagues.
John, you got to get in the YouTube chat and defend yourself. Don't be saying that about John. Man, people are ruthless on this thing.
And you were so gleeful to just announce it to the world.
Well, I thought
if I was John, I have a problem with you right now.
Baby, I thought he was kidding with him. Look, I get killed by my YouTube chat, and then they'll always be like, Bill, we love you.
Yeah, what else do YouTube chat say before we go to break here? Yeah, chat it up. I'm going to give you your chat time here.
Let's see what else they got. Look at the gorilla's physique. Gorillas aren't built for 12 rounds.
I need a zoologist to call into the show here.
That's what we need.
And talk about the gorilla stamina. Where is this notion that a gorilla doesn't have enough stamina to ward off the 100 men?
Another person on the morning show taken astray here. Bill, Connor would convince himself that he could out-wrestle the gorilla.
Connor 100% believes that. I'll take that. I will be the one that runs with that.
Did the gorilla outlast Godzilla, for crying out loud? Yeah. Much less 100 men.
On this may be the best plan yet. So Michael Ponzio in our YouTube chat. I would dress up in a gorilla costume, gain its trust, and then attack.
That's like trading places. Where they had the gorilla costume on the villain and trading places.
Gain its
610-632-0975. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Phillies play tonight. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies open up a 3-game series tonight with the Nationals at Citizens Bank Park. The Nationals have won 6 of their last 10. The Phillies are coming off a series win over the Cubs in Chicago over the weekend. The matchup on the mound will be between Zach Wheeler and Mackenzie Gore, which is a rematch of the opening day matchup between these two sides. First pitch tonight at 6:45. In the Eagles world, the team has now put the draft and the White House visit in the rearview. Ahead of them, a few big decisions, including whether to move on from tight end Dallas Goddard after an offseason of speculation that they may do that, and as well as whether or not to pick up defensive tackle Jordan Davis's 5th-year option on his rookie contract. The Inquirer's Jeff McClain joined Kincade and Salciunas and said he expects the Eagles to pick up that option.
The reason why this is going down the wires, are probably trying to work out something to lower that number, right? Another extension, maybe, something that would not force them to pay. I think, what is it, around $13 million? But I think if they can't get something done, I imagine they're going to pick it up.
We'll keep you updated with whatever they do with regards to Jordan Davis. This update is brought to you by Macy's Backstage. What we find at Macy's Backstage: how about fun Mother's Day gifts? Get low prices every day on unique finds before they're gone. Find location near you at Macy'sBackstage.com. Off price, on trend, arriving daily. I'm Ray Dunn on your home for truest championship coverage. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
about the non-drafting of Shedeur Sanders till the 5th round. Master of the obvious, Michael Wilbon, by the way. And can you tell that I'm not a fan of Michael Wilbon?
You've gone at it with him before, haven't you?
I have. I don't get the success of the show, nor him. But in any event, he says, Mel Kiper got this right when he said that this was personal. This is not about football. This was personal. Well, of course it was personal. What did you have to really, was that a revelation to the world that this was personal? He goes on to say, in different rounds, different teams looked at him differently. And they said, we find him undesirable. We don't want him. It is personal. And you know what happens in the NFL where word distraction is a 4-letter word and every coach and every executive can utter the distraction. They just don't have the guts to ever in the NFL to come out and say that someone is a distraction. What would they have to gain by saying that? Like we don't already know that they thought it would be a distraction?
Yeah, I'm not understanding what Wilbon's point is.
What does he want the NFL team to go? No, you know what? We didn't want him because he's a distraction, and we don't want his father involved in it. How would that make him look?
Yeah, I don't get what the point is.
They're already telling you how they feel about him by not drafting the guy.
Yeah, I'm trying to read what everything that Wilbon said as well, and I agree with you. Of course, it was not talent-based because...
Of course, it was the most obvious thing on earth is they didn't want to deal with the shrapnel that comes along with him and his father. Now, they created their own bed with it. So, yes. Was it personal? Yes. Did he get hosed? Yes. He got hosed.
Yeah, I don't get what the point is. He's saying that the NFL doesn't have the stones to come out and say it out loud?
Yeah.
What did they want him to say?
They want him to say, we didn't want him because we think he's a bad guy and his father would interfere and blah, 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 blah. How's that going to make them look? Does that give them any benefit? We already know they think that. Wilbon?
Yeah, I don't get it. Wait, what was your clash with him? The whole Philly fan stereotype?
It was the Philly stereotype over Kobe Bryant. That he ripped the Philadelphia fan base when the All-Star game was here. What year was that when the All-Star game was here? Kobe Bryant had ripped the city of Philadelphia and saying that he disavows any association with Philadelphia. He's a Laker now. Oh, that was in his early days when he was a little more immature and he said some things. And so when he came to the All-Star game, when he was introduced, they booed him. Now, when you take shots at Philadelphia as a city, whether you're a native son or not, the fans here are going to react. Well, this idiot Wilbon goes and rips the Philadelphia fans for being discourteous to Kobe Bryant and booing him. Well, I go, dude, did you not know? Did you not recognize the reason why they did that? I said, did you not know the history of it? And he goes, well, I go, you could have very easily checked with any local journalist, hey, what's the story behind Kobe Bryant getting? Well, I don't have to. He goes, I don't have to associate with any local journalist. And we've gone back and forth with me. Finally, I just said, you're useless. First of all, here's how I introduced.
That was 02 too, I think, by the way.
02? This is how I introduced it. He wrote a column in the Washington Post about it. And this is how I introduced him. Because I was on with Eskin at the time. The Benedict Arnold did that bastard who was, who tried to side with Wilbon, right? Like his obvious way he used to work back in the day. So he comes on. I go, Michael, this is Mike Missanelli. I just would like to say that I thought that your piece in the Washington Post was an unadulterated piece of garbage. That was the first thing I said to him. And so I put him on his heels right away.
And what? Eskin stepped in?
Well, yeah, of course. He tried to defend Wilbon on the whole thing.
Yeah, it's just that lazy narrative about the Philadelphia sports.
Yeah, I go, you national guys, you don't want to do any work at all. You just have this perception that you want to follow, that Philadelphia is bad, and blah, blah, blah. And while you ignore, as a journalist, by the way, you ignore a legitimate reason why a fan base will be perturbed at a guy who ripped their own city. Do you not see that? He's trying to defend himself.
Yeah, and to your point about Kobe, he won us back over, but at that time, yes, we weren't.
You remember how
happy.
cocky he was?
Yeah.
I'm an LA Laker. He would wear a Dodger hat. He had no association with Philly, the whole bit back then.
Yeah, and then he won us back over.
Of course he did.
Then we loved him. But, yeah, so that Wilbon acted as if he didn't know why.
Yeah. Just he relied on the perception. Well, in Philadelphia, they do things like that because they're bad.
I can only get the first line of the story because I'm getting paywalled here, and I apologize for not having a subscription to the Washington Post.
Oh, this was the story he wrote about it?
Yes, yes. February 11th, 2002. This is why it's okay to hate Philly.
There
That's
you go.
the first line.
There you go. So I counted by saying I thought your story, your piece in the Washington Post was an unadulterated piece of garbage. And that didn't sit too well with him at the start of an interview. Well, I had to get it out. Like, I'm not going to hide.
That didn't.
This is why I have you on. I want to battle with you on why you be so ignorant as to not understand the circumstances of why Philadelphia fans would boo in that particular situation.
You just said Wilbon said something obvious. You just said, and that didn't sit so well to start the interview.
No, it didn't. But I didn't care. I wanted to see how he would react. Would he hang up on me, which would make him look terrible? I think in the end he did.
He eventually hung up on you?
And then I said something like inappropriate, like, well, must have been feeding time.
So
because he was.
What was the worst interview? You and Wilbon?
At the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You and Wilbon, or you and?
I don't know. People would have to judge.
Google me. I'm forgetting his name. Now.
Google
Skip
me.
Bayless. Skip.
Google me. I don't know. They were both kind of like at the same tempo. So I thought I had my legitimate reasons for firing at both of them. Both of them were Philly haters without really understanding. Skip Bayless had the cool yuns to say that he was mistreated at Veterans Stadium in a one day in 1986. That was his reason for hating Philadelphia.
1986.
Yeah.
Yeah, so good for you sticking up for the Philly fans.
These national idiots who don't understand the city and don't want to take the time to understand the city. It's so lazy for them to just sit back and say, Philadelphia? Well, bad things happen in Philadelphia. I was tired of it. Oh, there you go.
There he is. Our knight in shining armor, Mike Missanelli.
Yeah, a lot of people say I'm not, but when it comes to that, you're defending Philadelphia. Like, if a Philadelphia fan acts like an idiot and throws popcorn on a basketball player's head, I'm going to rip him. There are a lot of things that go on in this city that are immature and out of control, and the idiots that do that should be called out. But when you collectively characterize a fan base as bad and you don't know crap about the fan base, nor do you take the time to find out about it, well, then you got to get called on the carpet.
I agree.
All right, the rest of the time's your show.
All right, Mike got all worked up.
I'm exhausted.
Right, what else do we have on the text board? Anything about our Eagles draft talk?
Oh, yeah, sure. I can try and find that. Yeah.
We got a caller on hold.
We do have that, too.
Do we?
Yeah, we got Joe. We got Joe in Jersey. Let's get Joe in Jersey.
Yeah, let's get Joe.
Go ahead, Joe. Hello, Joe.
Hello,
Joe. How are
How
you?
you doing?
Good.
Yeah, I remember Kobe being interviewed during the finals that year. He disavowed any connection to Philadelphia.
He
and said
did.
it with a sneer on his face.
He
He was
did.
begging to get booed. He was begging for it.
He absolutely did.
And as far as that gorilla contest, I think after the gorilla rips the arms off the first three guys, the other 97 are going to lose their enthusiasm real quick.
Yeah,
So my money's on the gorilla.
the other 47 run and hide.
Yeah,
the other 97. I'm sorry.
He's right. Well, that's why we need that dog mentality that Serriani preaches.
Dog mentality.
Yeah, dog mentality.
Hell yeah.
All right, brother. Are you a golf fan?
That's all fine and good, but a dog can't run with two legs. So.
I hear you, Joe. Joe, you a golf fan?
Yes.
All right, Joe. I'm going to give you a golf question.
I like watch. I haven't played in years, but I love watching it.
I'm going to give you an easy question here. All right, to qualify for the tickets for next year's PGA. What is the name for the sand traps that are placed throughout a golf course?
Hazards?
Oh, that's technically correct.
I'm going to give you one more chance. That's incorrect. What are they called?
Bunkers.
There it is.
Correct, Mundo. Bunker.
Yes. He deserved it because it is technically a hazard, right? Well, not really, right? It's a water hazard.
Well, it's a bunker.
Yeah, everyone would know bunker. But I'm glad you gave him another shot.
All right, he qualifies. Good for him. A bunker also, when you're crabbing, is the fish head.
Correct.
That you attach on the line.
The bunker fish. I love crab.
There you go, Ray.
I enjoy crabbing.
You've crabbed?
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Do you do it with the cage or you do it with the old-fashioned?
I've done it both ways.
Hand line's the way to go. That's where it requires some skill. You also get the bigger crab with the hand line, I feel like. And then you got to get the net, swoop it up. Yeah.
It's fun.
It is a lot of fun.
You're drinking like a six-pack of beer at 6 o'clock in the morning to accompany it.
I've always enjoyed crabbing more than fishing. I feel like there's more action when you're crabbing.
Really? I like to pull in a good fish.
But fishing, I feel like there's a lot more sitting around.
Well,
I don't have the patience or the attention span as it may be a surprise.
Too.
Yeah, but you're constantly pulling up the nets. You're constantly looking at.
I like the fishing thing where you stick it in the little holster and you just watch it, and then the line pulls, and then you grab it. That's exciting.
You ever like big game fish?
Oh, I call big blues.
Yeah,
big bluefish going out like 20 miles.
Now that's a workout, right?
Yeah, it is. Well, I caught a tarpon also. I wrestled with a tarpon for an hour.
Now, do you throw it back in?
You don't eat tarpon, so yeah, you only catch it for sport.
You hold it?
No, you don't even hold it. You bring it up and you just let it go. They're nasty fish. 610-632-0975. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Andrew Sal.
Very interesting story in The Athletic today about the halo effect of Nick Sirianni. And Howie Roseman, frankly.
Yeah, one person has the halo, the other has the horn.
Ray predicted that this story would bring a tear to your eye. How full circle he's come, right, Ray?
Yeah.
Bill, you put it on the show sheet.
I honestly welled up a little bit reading it.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I was just so proud.
So just imagine Bill.
But hold on. You just said how full circle he's come. Mm-hmm. And I think the person who wrote the article, I don't know, are they a national reporter? Because I'm not seeing, as much as I think it should be, a full circle moment for Sirianni here. I mean, on our chat, on our text board, I feel like there are still people who view Sirianni the same way they did at that initial press conference.
Yeah, well,
I don't think he's won everybody over yet.
I think you're right, but this writer says that it wasn't until the Eagles destroyed the Chiefs in the Super Bowl that many would have ranked Sirianni among the league's top coaches. He's saying now they do. And he's saying that our erroneous snap judgments and first impressions can be very erroneous and very wrong. Now, there are a lot of people that still say that their snap judgment is not wrong, that they won it by accident, which I think is ridiculous. I think you got to give the head coach some credit for doing what he did.
Yeah, I think people are saying, because we had it earlier on the chat and the text board, I think people are basically saying they won in spite of him again. That it's not what he's doing, it's his coordinators, it's Howie Roseman building the personnel. But I do think that we're ignoring that he has built a very strong culture, and he is a good coach. I don't think you go to the playoffs 4 years in a row if you're a goof.
Just let me read this paragraph. When the Eagles hired Serriani, Jeffrey Lurie touted the process. As a conducted research, he created a list of 25 names, and culled it to 10. Sirianni's interview, held over the course of 2 days, lasted 10 to 12 hours. Now, can you imagine listening to that Sirianni for 10 to 12 hours?
We all fertilize.
And Lurie came away with a deep belief, quote, here was a coach who connects with everybody.
Yeah, but I don't know how you're not buying that.
Come on. Seriously, how do you get that for what Sirianni was? And in that interview, I'm sure he embellished that part of it. How do you come away with he connects with everybody?
Because he does.
How do you connect? How do you say he's got the, quote, hidden sauce?
But everything that we have heard from the players who have played for Nick have talked about that connection. They've talked about how he goes out of his way to talk to them. So, I mean, Lurie, I think, was right in that sense. The version of Nick...
a shot in the dark by saying that. How on earth can you come to a conclusion in 10 to 12 hours that this guy will connect with everybody when he's only talking to two people?
Well, because it wasn't like they just found this guy on the side of the road. He had been a coach in the NFL for a few years.
He had been a lackey in the NFL. He'd been an ass-kissing position coach. You know the way those guys do.
Dude, how the hell do you know that Nick Sirianni was a lackey in Indianapolis?
All assistant coaches are the go-between between the player and the head coach. They play good cop, bad cop all the time, except for guys like Stoutland, who can create. A young assistant coach, you're going to tell me, is going to get tough with NFL players?
Dude,
stop it.
You're off on this one. You're off. Then that would mean every single coach that's not a head coach is just a lackey.
Every single one. I'm talking about one that's overly exuberant and enthusiastic, like Nick Sirianni, probably pumping up his guys all the time as an assistant.
I'm not buying it. Right. I'm sure. Look, everything we've heard is this guy connects with his players. And I'm looking now. He came into the NFL in 2009. So he had been in the NFL for 12 years before he was hired by the Eagles. So it's not just based off of that one conversation over 12 hours. I'm sure Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie did their homework and knew this guy connected with his players everywhere he was.
You have a team.
I don't want to be the Sirianni defender anymore. I don't think I should have to defend him.
You have a team.
The fact that there's a trophy down at the NovaCare complex from the Super Bowl should be enough. What do I got to defend this guy for anymore? Nah, I can't do it, Ray. I shouldn't have to sing Sirianni love anymore.
Oh, now he's getting indignant, Ray. He's getting indignant. There you go.
I'm exhausted by this.
I'm the smartest coach in the world.
Let's go back to the phones. Talk to Connor in Philly. Connor, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Connor, how you doing?
What's up, gentlemen? How we doing?
Good. How are you?
Not too bad. Appreciate you having me on. Just a quick thought to what you guys were talking about earlier with the Eagles making the White House trip, and does that do anything to the locker room?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you would hope, wouldn't? Again, like you said, Mike, maybe friendships aren't as solid, but you would hope it's hey, you're going to work, you're getting paid, much like all of us. You can kind of fight through that stuff. Obviously, quite a bit's gone on in that locker room over time, and they've kind of obviously not had a great season, and then fought through to win the championship the last year. So I don't think it affects the whole lot. Hopefully it kind of blows over, like you guys have kind of.
Look, I don't think that Jalen Hurts would go to a Trump Republican rally with Saquon that had a golf connected to it. I don't think he would do that, but that doesn't mean that they can't be bonded as teammates.
Right. Exactly. You're showing up doing your job. And then, quick question for you guys with obviously how the end of the Phillies series shook out this weekend with the Cubs and such. Romano comes in, gets a save here. Do you think he can use that to kind of boost? Rob seems like he's still kind of leaning on him here and there to kind of boost his confidence in this homestand.
Yeah, I think he's playing it the right way. I thought that was really key for Romano. And he felt it was key. You could see how he reacted. He was excited like he won a World Series or something. So maybe that gives him a little confidence. The thing I always look at is his velocity. His velocity was good. As long as it's up in that 98 area, I'm good. And he threw some really good sliders in that inning.
Awesome.
All right, brother. You want to take a shot at our golf question?
Yes, sir.
All right. In which competition would one win the Claret Jug?
That's going to be the Open Championship or the British Open.
That is absolutely correct. So you qualify.
We have 3 people in the winner's circle right now.
That's pretty good.
That is pretty good.
All right, let me just say it's about Saquon. I don't think he's pro-Trump. I think he's pro-golf.
I think he's very pro-golf. I don't know what his political
he has
views
been
are.
playing golf at every golf course in this area constantly and consistently.
Yes.
To the point where I think he joined Squires, right?
That's when I looked his gin up on the USGA app. Yeah,
maybe he didn't join. Maybe he's America's guest, and they'll let him play at Squires. It's a very loose membership over there.
Yeah.
They would love to have a guy like Saquon there. Because in the past, Gary Maddox has been a member there. Aaron McKee has been a member there.
And you got to keep your handicap somewhere, right? Somewhere it has to have it.
Yeah.
So maybe that's
so
what it is.
I think he was intoxicated by the Golf Association. And that's why he felt it was harmful. I don't think that Saquon Barkley is political. I really don't. I just think he's pro-golf.
Yeah, I think you're probably right on that. You're probably right. We know he loves golf. He talks about it a lot.
Yeah. He loves to play golf.
Yeah, he talks about it a lot.
So he had a chance to play. Now, myself, there's certain courses I wouldn't play. And I think you know where I'm going with that. Right?
Yeah.
And I don't care what the course looks like. The course could be the rolling peat of Ireland on American soil and have these beautiful flag pins of gold. I wouldn't play certain courses.
Sounds like White Marsh.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't at all. But you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
All right, what's the chat board saying, Ray?
Okay. Chat board or text board? What are we looking for
I'm
here?
sorry. I always say, what's the chat board?
You say the chat board, and it confuses me.
All right, what's the chat saying, Bill?
And then the chat, you distract me, and then I don't hear something you say.
What's the chat saying right now? And then we'll get to the text board.
All right, well, back to the Serriani conversation. Matt Deckert says, I don't know what Nick really does, but you can't deny his record. He's been to 2 Super Bowls. He won 1. I don't know what he's doing, but he's doing something right.
Caveat. I don't know what he's doing, which tells you that maybe the halo effect doesn't even apply yet to him.
But he's doing something right.
He's doing something right, and that's the way I feel. I don't know what he's doing. He doesn't give me the impression that he's an overly cerebral, solid NFL coach, but they won the frickin' Super Bowl. And I say, Mike, what's wrong with you? I'll admit there might be something wrong with me. And somebody who says, I don't know what he's doing, but I guess it's okay.
Yeah, there is something wrong with you. And Jim G says if it wasn't for Jonathan Gannon, Nick would have 2 Super Bowl rings.
Oh, man. There you go. There's the overly Bill Pro Serriani comment.
Yeah, we got both sides of that on the text board right now. Unnamed texter, you're right, Bill. Lombardi Trophy means you never have to defend your cousin again. We got another texter saying, this is Jason from Bluebell. Thank God Bill said he won't sing Sirianni Love anymore. Sing in quotes.
Well, I'm not promising that I'll never sing it.
I don't think you're that bad at that Sirianni Love thing. I don't know why people rip you.
Yeah, I think they're hating on my skills.
Anyway, we have to have a winner day? I don't know.
Yeah, I'll pick out a winner right here.
You're picking out a winner? Okay.
3 names in a
Get
bag.
out a winner.
Let me just tell you what it's for. It's the PGA Championship 2026. That's next year. Next year's, I guess it'd be in June, maybe. I don't know when it is exactly, but it's at Aronimink Golf Club in Newtown Square. The winner gets 2 championship grounds tickets to Championship Sunday, the final round. It's really, really cool. And it's your time to secure your place in line to get tickets. If you don't win them today, you can register now for free at pgachampionship.com/register. Tickets to watch the 2026 PGA Championship will be sold exclusively through this online registration process. So there you go.
Yeah, and it looks like the dates that are being pushed are May 11th through the 17th.
May 11th.
So I'm assuming the 17th is the Sunday.
That is correct, May 17th. Yeah. All right?
So that's pretty good. Hey, quick question, something that caller said.
Well, wait a minute. Ray's got to pick.
Oh, he's got the winner?
Got the winner, Ray?
I do have the winner.
All right, who is it? Drum roll.
Connor, our winner from just moments ago.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. Connor gets the selection. Congratulations to Connor from wherever he was calling from.
Yes, good
Philly or wherever.
Good job.
What one thing you have left?
Well, what Connor said was, do you think now they're going to trust Romano? What other option do they have, Mike?
Well, unless they make a move.
Yeah, but I mean, at this point, you kind of have to.
You don't trust him, you make a move. That's basically what it is.
But right now, you're not making a move.
He's got like 3 appearances left.
Before you'd have to make a move, you think?
Yes. He's got 3 successful appearances left to save himself here.
Yeah, but you may not be able to pry away another closer until they're closer to the deadline.
You'll have to do something before that gets to that point. You can't wait too long. All right. By the way, stay tuned. The Fanatic signing bonus is coming up on the afternoon show. Your chance to win $1,000. All you have to do is go to our contest page for the rules, 975thefanatic.com. You also enter the keyword on 975thefanatic.com or on the Fanatic app on your mobile device, or you can just text it to 45911. So stay tuned for that at 3 and 5 p.m. Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll talk to you tomorrow.